Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibaba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV.
From the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South and Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibaba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon entertainment.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, standing with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat. On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon.
Okay, folks, time check here in Liberia. 6 minutes after 8 p.m. It's a brand new week, a brand new working week as well. Today is Monday, the 22nd day of May 2023. Once again, you're welcome to another edition of the premier nighttime talk show here in Liberia, Spoon Talk, live across the Spoon Network on Spoon 107.5 FM. Super 95.5, Fabric 101.1, also live on Spoon TV on Facebook and YouTube, and we're also being relayed by several community stations across the country. So to those stations that are relaying us, we want to say thank you. Voice of Jida, I think I got the name right, in Grand Jida County, has been relaying the show. We want to say thank you as well. Now we're going to cross over to the panelists. My name is Diamond Slanger, and I'm producing tonight. Good evening, James. How are you doing, sir?
Good evening, Diamond. I'm okay. How do you do?
How do you do, sir?
I'm okay, boss. What about you?
Can't complain. God money me, brother. Yeah, we inside.
Cost the money, everybody. At least
that God money.
Until the last day or the last breath, God money us.
Especially in January, according to Old Road Jesus, the world coming to an end in January. So he's doing that until January.
Oh, was it you that did that interview with that guy? That guy is interesting, though.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, today going to be an interesting day, man.
What you gotta do about it?
We got a lot of good things coming up today. So, gentlemen, the people didn't say us will be moderating today. What do we have going on?
And what you see?
What you see?
Whatever the librarian post say, you know me, I'm for the librarian people. The librarian post say I'm a moderator today, so I'll moderate today. Well, we have a lot of goodies. Hopefully, the other panelists will come. I had a list of things that we want us to touch on today. Jua Howard, the whole. We had to have an emergency show yesterday for that Jua Howard stuff. Well, you see the video in there. We want to play that video. You got that video. I think you shared it yesterday too. I just put it back in the chat room.
Okay.
You see it? So it's like people say one thing and they do one thing. It's like when they find it expedient to support something. Yeah, you got it, right? Yeah. So we're talking about that. But Damo, anything new on your end?
Well, a lot of things happening in Liberia, Mr. Fadiga. And as usual, whenever I'm producing, I do highlight a few of these things happening in the country to share with the listeners and viewers. So the president on the 20th of May did dedicate the newly constructed Albert Doe sports page in West Point. You know, that sports page was upgraded from what it was, and the president, at the dedication ceremony, also said he's not only targeting improving sporting facilities in the country, but we're looking at hosting Africa Cup of Nations, according to the president. Yes. Oh yes. Why is that sounding funny? Like something funny to you guys? So we're thinking big. They say if your dream doesn't scare you, even the infrastructure.
I know that's ambitious, but we'll see. Let it get past October 1st.
Yeah. So though we only have one CAF approved stadium, we're still improving when it comes to infrastructure development, and the president is definitely dreaming big. That indeed Liberia it is his dream. Doesn't necessarily mean if he gets 12 years or 6 years. His dream is to see Liberia hosting the Africa Cup of Nations. Whether it's an immediate, long-term, or medium-term dream, it's the president's dream.
I think we should get past. I mean, I need to win one cup. I mean, can I have Ballon d'Or recipient, Africa best, world best, European best, and we can't even win one award, man? At least
small getting there. We never have sports tax before in the country. Right now we do. So
all right. So yeah, that's progress.
Make use of the stadium, the infrastructure, and improve their skills when it comes to sports, so that Liberia can also produce more elite sportsmen. So that's for that. So this one is titled "By Fire, by Force." There's this senatorial aspirant called Cheno Jallo. So he will be contesting, from all indications, the Montserrado County senatorial seat, trying to wrestle it from Senator Sir Joseph, like many others will be trying to do. So Mr. Jallo has said he is going to take 2,000 men to the legislature now that they have resumed, to force legislators to conduct drug tests. Yes, since the AFL chief of staff said it, now Mr. Jallo is taking it into, practicality. He's taking it into action. He said he's going to take 2,000 men to the legislature to make sure legislators are subjected to taking drug tests, because according to him, it is the legislators that are bringing in illicit substances in the country. And after he had forced them, he's going to march to Jamaica Resort as well. I don't know who is going to force to do drug tests at Jamaica, but Mr. Jallo is saying from the capital is going to be Jamaica Resort.
But the thing here is not necessarily the people that sell drugs don't necessarily take it though. You haven't heard about the thing, you can get high on your own supply.
You're feeling the market.
Drugs dealers are not they don't consume. A lot of drug dealers do not consume the product.
So you can get into the product, then you wouldn't maximize or make
profit. I know. So testing then you might not even find nothing in the system. So we'll probably need to do more security investigation on the borders and the shipping that came in. I think we'll have better luck on that side than there's something. But Ali, nice try. Continue.
Yeah, so Kush again, I read a very sad story where a 22-year-old man, according to the story in the New Republic, killed his 1-year-old daughter after taking in Kush. And I read through the story. According to the narrative, this man, after taking in Kush, decided to take off his clothes. According to him, he was hearing voices telling him to remove his clothes. He was hallucinating, and he started to beat on his fiancée. And in the process, the landlord came there. They knew him for being somebody who is violent towards his spouse. And in the instance of intervening, the lady was able to run away, but he was left alone with the 1-year-old child, a baby girl, and he used the base of the fan, according to the Liberia National Police, used the base of the fan to bash that baby's head, beating her and killing her. He has been sent to jail, pre-trial detainee. He's been charged. And again, this Kush thing is causing serious, problem in the country. It's now a menace in the country. We're hearing Kush-related deaths. We're hearing people committing murder under the influence of Kush. So Kush now is serious in Liberia. Since I started covering this whole incident, this whole occurrence of Kush, this is my 4th story involving death of an individual or individuals relating to the Kush intake in the country. So we all know what happened yesterday at Senator Johnson's church, and the NPP, by extension the CDC, has been blamed for the protest yesterday. The political Christians, as they call themselves, who went there as invited guests and disrupted the entire service. So today the vice president was granted an impromptu interview where she spoke for, I think, 45 or 50 seconds, and she said she condemns violence, and she's a signatory to the Farmington River Agreement. But what the vice president failed to have said was whether or not her party would have launched an investigation into individuals who are believed, who said they are members from the NPP, not just coming up to condemn, but what punitive actions will be taken to let people know that you're serious about your statement of condemnation, But the vice president didn't answer any questions after she said she condemns violence. But there has been serious uproar in the country. As you said, you guys had an emergency show yesterday. I've been on the social media page of the Liberia Council of Churches. I haven't seen anything. I've been on the official Facebook page of the NPP. I haven't seen any release from the party, whether or not they've released a press statement, and they've not posted it on their official Facebook page. I only saw a release from the CDC telling the UP that the UP shouldn't say it's the CDC that instigated the violence, and those guys wearing the regalia of the CDC or any other emblem bearing the CDC. But some Liberians are saying, by extension, the NPP is in a coalition with the CDC, and anything that the NPP does politically affects the CDC as well. So just to wrap up quickly, the $100 million drug case that was thrown out is causing serious uproar in the country, especially when it comes to Liberians and their say. We all are aware that the case, the defendants were found not guilty. The defendants were found not guilty by criminal Kush. We should remember that it was a jury trial. It wasn't a bench trial. So the jurors found the defendants not guilty, even after the state had presented, its evidence. And it raises the question again, how many high-profile cases have we won since the inception of this government? That's a question. Liberians are asking, how many high-profile cases have we taken to court to prosecute as the prosecution? The prosecution should have all of the resources available to nail a case. Why are we losing these cases? And what are the implications, the ripple effects, of our international partners, mainly the US, aiding us and helping us in arresting that huge quantity of drugs, the largest consignment of drugs in the country ever, and defendants are allowed to go free. They're now in the country. The justice minister said he's surprised that the state lost the case, and the defendants, how are you going to rearrest them? Even if the state files an appeal, how are you going to rearrest them when we've been informed that they all left the country?
And I think we have the double jeopardy law that I think the lawyer Lamiu can help us. We do have a double jeopardy law that you cannot re-prosecute someone that have already been set free for the same crime, right?
Yeah, generally you cannot put them on trial again, especially where they be acquitted by a jury. Some people been saying that the government can probably ask for a new trial, but the criminal procedure law is kind of restrictive on that. And the criminal procedure law even seems to suggest that only the defendant can raise those issues for new trial. So as it stands, except
only the defendant can raise it.
I'm not being here, right?
Yeah, go ahead. You see me loud.
Yeah. So unless they can be proving that there was some kind of corruption that happened with those jurors, our case is as much as dead.
So those guys are all right to leave the country, right? After that, they have all right to.
They have right. The moment they were acquitted, they had the right to leave, and I think that's what they did.
Yeah, what they did.
They didn't want to the chief, so they have spun their right away.
Wow. I wonder what was the evidence that they presented, because normally before you go to trial in this kind of thing, law enforcement in the West, law enforcement will gather all the evidence make sure that they have a very good case, solid case. From everything we knew that this case was looking solid, we had the drugs that were seized. We had them trying to solicit the purchase of those drugs. We even the pattern that was shown where they tried with 200,000, they went up to 400,000 and up to $1 million. They try to pay for a container that value only $30,000 peak feet. How did they get acquitted for that thing? I don't know. But probably Lami, you can explain what do you think the prosecutor, where do you think they went wrong?
Without reading the trial transcript, it will be very difficult to know what happened. So right now, whatever we say will be speculative.
Yeah, but just speculate. What are some possible things that could have gone wrong? Because I do know about the professional jury, and I know that it could easily be tainted. Probably that could be one of the reasons too. But I mean, if you know anything,
I don't like jury trials, and that's subject to peer review. So a lot of times, one time I had a case, and I advised a client. With jury trial, he got a fair verdict because the judge was able to look at the stuff and then throw it out. We want it easy. But if you're having jury trial, they could easily be manipulated and it could rule against you. Then you stop with that. So I don't like them because there's nothing that happens in the society. We have not put in strictures yet that put fear in people for doing wrong. In the society, a lot of people would think that they can do wrong and they can go free, and especially if they say, "Oh, forgive me." I believe that it's not human beings that should forgive other human beings. It should be God. So when you want forgiveness, let God forgive you. We, the human beings, we should be here to punish you. So one of three things may have happened, and this is purely speculation. Before reading the trial transcripts, this is purely speculation. One of three things: either you present a very incompetent prosecution, which could lead to acquittal, and from the Minister of Justice's press release that I read today, he seemed to be suggesting that the case was an open and shut case, and the evidence was extremely strong. So he doesn't think that they presented a bad case. So if the Minister of Justice's opinion is to go by, and there's no reason why I will not trust that he's saying it true, because I know he's an honest person. So I will assume that they presented a very good case. Okay, so assuming that they presented a very good case, why will a jury decide to look at that and still rule not guilty? Generally under the law, the jury can what they call nullify the law. So they do not have to have a reason to find someone not guilty, even if the person is guilty of the crime. So jury nullification may occur, right? But if jury nullification did not occur, then it means that there was foul play. And I'm more leaning towards foul play, people manipulating this jury. And again, without having the full information, the question there is, were the jurors sequestered? And if they were sequestered, meaning if they were kept in seclusion from other people, from the public, if they were sequestered, what were the security measures put around them to ensure that they do not get manipulated? These are all questions that need to be answered by the justice authorities. When we have the full answer to these things, if they did not sequester the jurors, then it means that they probably wanted them to be manipulated. You still be talking $200 million worth of
$200 million, all the evidence there.
$200 million worth of an illicit substance, and then you say you don't put the people in sequestration. So if they did not sequester them, then they probably wanted to lose. That's the reason why they did that.
Another thing you said, I may not know this, but could they have avoided the jury's trial in this case?
No, only the defendant can do that. The prosecution can say we do not want jury trial.
Right. Only the defendant.
The defendant has that right to waive jury trial in cases that are not capital. So in capital cases, there's no right to waive jury trial. You have to have jury trial. But in a non-capital case, this should be a non-capital case. So the defendant had the right to say we do not want jury trial. But if they felt that they could manipulate a jury, they will most likely go for a jury trial.
So it is safe to assume that we cannot trust our jury in Liberia.
The problem, you see, Fadiga, our society cannot be better than the constituent elements of that society.
Yeah.
The constituent elements of this country, I mean, I would not say everybody is that bad, but the system is so rotten. And people do these things because they know they can get away with it. In any society where people think they can get away with crime, they will commit crime. People do not commit crimes because they know they will get punished. If somebody knows that there is certain punishment at the end of the day when they are caught, the likelihood is that they will not commit crime. But if they think they can get away with it, they will get away. They will commit crime.
Who there? Are we coming to Houston? Okay, sorry. Just do the one thing. Look,
I'm not talking to you, friend.
let me ask you this question. Is there a way, anywhere in the law, that those jurors can be prosecuted if you have a open shut case and going out? Are there anything in the law that can the government can hold those jurors accountable for making such a move?
So if they made a decision without being manipulated, the government can do anything about it.
How do you prove manipulation?
Yeah, that's the point. So you have to prove that they were manipulated. So you have to have evidence. I mean, obviously, if people receive money, they will start splashing it around. Most of the people will not think twice. They will start splashing it. And I mean, you could like catch them on that. I mean, people could like decide to confess and bring the fruit of the crime and stuff like that. But short of that, you leave your own with God, most likely, you know.
Wow, so best with Leah. Wow. Oh, Stanton, welcome, my man.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the
good day. You haven't shared your thoughts yet. You got anything on your end?
good afternoon with you.
I mean, going look at you got a topic in there, right?
Who, me?
Yeah. Did you see it in the room there?
Oh, yeah, but yeah. Well, Damo, what's up, man? You pick your car up?
Damo got a lot of interesting stuff.
I'm good to see you. How are you, sir?
You pick up your car?
No. Yeah, y'all laugh at me. Le car there for the long haul for the longer thing. So Senator should just allow us to be there for a while.
That should wait, right?
Thank you,
I'll call her and let her know.
All right, thank you, sir.
Since we on this drugs business, let's just exhaust this Kush thing. This Kush.
What drugs business are you talking about again, man? All the Google stories are out there that drug story you can't bring in.
But the drug story is one of the most important things.
The most important thing is
I mean, if we allow drug dealers to come to our country and then walk scot-free when they are caught red-handed, that tells you that
you shouldn't with that amount. 100 million. Look at our budget.
Serious problem here.
Look at our national budget. You take 100 million for our national budget. These guys can buy that country. I'm telling you.
And I follow the
reason why I say that. I'm sorry, Dama. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the reason why I'm saying that is that we had a discussion on it, and we should be bringing in some folks, from the country that we can further discuss this issue. Indeed, it is a good issue to talk about, but we had a full 3 hours on it, so.
I think it came out this morning again. Damo mentioned something about Kush. This guy that killed his daughter based on Kush. What is this Kush? You know what? Is it like cocaine, crack, or
it's like crystal meth. Yeah,
crystal meth.
Yeah, it's like crystal meth. Somebody said it's crystal meth, but I've not gotten a closer look at what it is. But from people that I've asked, it's more like crystal meth. And it causes a lot of hallucinations.
Do they put it in the aluminum foil, smoke it?
Yes. Yeah, you put it in aluminum foil, and you then do what you have to do with it. Yeah.
So let me say that one of the reasons why this is interesting, part of my background, I work with a lot of individuals in this country with drugs addiction. And if you don't understand the thing they call addiction, honestly, it's like a dark hole that you get in once you taste that thing. I've seen people, the average addict in this country that I've dealt with from 16 years old, 14, 16 years old, all the way to whatever age. I've seen little children in the house that started with these pills and all these different stuff. Percocet, what they call fentanyl, all those different things right in the house. Now they start putting it in gum and making this attractive to the children in this country. So the drugs and for it, and even with all the system and treatment programs in place in this country, it is giving us hell. So for a country like Liberia, I mean, it's not an easy thing to treat. You need a facility, you need to train people. So, man, it's a serious thing. Then 2,000 men to do it. That other guy, I won't give that story too much. The guy that carried 2,000 men to make sure. Lamin, can we make our lawmaker? Can we force people to take drug tests?
Okay, so Mr. Fadiga, before the learner counselor come in, somebody just made a post concerning this whole thing, Kush, and they said it's more like weed. I said I haven't seen it. They say it's more like weed, and from the story that I read, it shows that this guy was taking it something like weed-like, and somebody just said you don't put it in the foil, rather you roll it up like weed and you smoke it. So that is what I'm getting. But I haven't, as I said, I haven't seen it up close and personal. I'm working on going there to see it up close and personal and how it affects people as well. So those are corrections that we're getting in from our viewers. You know,
yeah, it's good to get some pictures and things so we can actually put some real.
Yeah, let me go do my OPS when I do it. I'll definitely.
Don't try.
If we got pictures, then we can show it as well.
You know, the information about this drug is that it seems to be some kind of mysterious drug, and people talk about it. I spoke to someone a few months ago, and 2 guys had died in the Logantown area. I think they said they had consumed it. And they say it's very deadly. I think I spoke to a DEA agent in Lofa County. They arrested a Nigerian guy who allegedly they said was dealing in the stuff. His description was that it was something like a kind of rag-like thing that they break into some pieces of stuff. So the crystal meth description seems to be more
like that.
Yeah, again, it's difficult to realize because everybody got some different description of what the thing is. You know, but the one thing that is common is that everybody's saying that it's a terrible drug. It's a terrible new drug that people are dying from overdoses on or from.
Just a quick thing, Mr. Fadiga. So when I said I was going on my OPS, I see comments, oh, Damo, don't smoke it, or Damo, will you taste it? I am not saying I'm going to smoke.
No, I know, I'm just saying that.
I don't even drink alcohol in the first place, let alone I was taking drugs. What I'm saying
somebody
is
said Kush killed a brother here, man.
Yeah, Bill Carson. I'm not going to taste Kush, I'm not going to smoke Kush, I'm not going to do anything. What I'm saying is I'm going to go to those who are in the habit of taking Kush, you know, to have a conversation with them. That's what I meant by
yeah.
But actually, let me. That way it's okay. Do what you want to do. If you come back looking like zombie, then we'll do a drug text on you. But again, that's a good counselor. Somebody speaking, counselor. You want to go ahead? Then we can finish up.
Someone just sent me a text saying that an 18-year-old son of his neighbor's 18-year-old son, in fact, died 2 weeks ago from this thing. You know, so it seems to be kind of like really doing ravaging our youthful population. Something has to be done about the drug addiction issue in the country. Fadiga was just asking whether people can be forced to do drug testing in Liberia. I'm not too sure whether the government can force someone to do drug testing. I'm not too sure, but
that's exactly what I'm about to say, guys. We're going to have those folks. We're going to have those folks that will come on the show, and we will really go into this conversation because you need those experts that will come and discuss about the drug thing. Everything we're saying, then we're going to go out there and then we're going to speak to individuals on the street, whether they're taking Kush, whether they're taking different kind of medication. You guys only talking about this Kush. There's a lot of different kind of medication on the market in Liberia. Those drugs from Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, and people are making their own. Because if you combine the different kind of drugs, you get a new mixture, and that's why, because they want to get overly high. You know, your high is not too better. Let my high be higher than your high. I want to get high till I can't wake up. But man, you take that thing, yeah, but you're off. That thing not too strong. That makes it. You know, people putting gunpowder. But the question is, this government, what's the role of the government? The role of your lawmakers? What's happening? And you guys are right. The $140 million drugs, they say people should go free. Well, where's the drugs, the money? Who's involved? They have internationally, it make our country to look worse. Our country is so ugly internationally. That's why we have a lot of folks on the street we call Zogos in Liberia. Directly or indirectly, everybody have some part to play in this thing. But the bunch of the responsibility remains with the government. Let me ask you, Damon. Our president, George Manuel Weah, president of Liberia, have he spoken on this drugs issue?
Not that I've heard the president speak directly, to the issue of Kush, but the president in one of his many addresses talked about the drug issue, especially giving more weight to our drug laws in the country. He has spoken about that, but to this Kush issue, now I haven't heard him speak yet, but he has spoken to drug addictions problems in the country.
So then I will also ask you, have they set up a committee? Because in this country, that Fadiga, they will do a drugs czar. Okay? Somebody that will handle this with that big committee set up from the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Justice, and this different ministry, Youth and Sport, set up a committee that can tackle this issue. I'm asking you, Damon, have the president set up any committee that will address this issue and report to him?
The answer again to that is I cannot confirm nor deny whether or not, but the issue is I haven't heard whether a committee has been set up specifically again to this entire Kush menace. But I do know folks from the executive mansion are listening, and they do take in, opinions that are worth emulating. And I'm sure when they listen to this recommendation, because Kush is now becoming a national menace, and you talked about the issue of Zogos. Every community now that you go to, I've been to several counties in Liberia, been to a number of counties now, several counties in Liberia, and this Zogo thing has is now an infestation. Before we used to say, okay, it's just brush creed and red light, but if you go to other counties now, you see these addicts that we now term as Zogos. They are all around in the community.
So again, and that's why we need these people to come on and speak. Let me ask you my last question, Damon. My last question is then, we saw Darius DeLon. You say, I'm going to build my rehab center. That thing can hold spot less than 50, less than 30. I mean, he have tried. And say what you want to say, at least he and his people, they tried. Zoka was the Minister of Youth and Sport, TVET program. The president went out and said, I will raise $30 million. No hay, no tay. Have they raised that money? What is in place right now for this government to tackle in addressing the issue? Go on Broad Street 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, where you have the B. Harris coming down Ducor. You talk about infestation. Indeed, people are there dying. They are there sleeping. They are there. They just want drugs and drugs and drugs. You're right, all in the interior. What mechanisms have been put in place to help these people, to redefine them? I mean, Councillor Bakpo, you are in the country. You moving up and down. You're seeing people in red, like Damo say. Go to Magibi, go to Kakata, go, places in Bombing, Lofa, Nimba, go to these different counties and city. It is getting, like we said, which is not right, but we say it's getting worse. It's bad for our country. But then the ball with the president. The president have not spoken seriously on this issue. Don't tell me about your lawmakers. Some of them are trying. They don't have tried. He has shown leadership in that direction. But the president, man, the president, George Manuel Weah,
I think this should be
done.
You should declare a national emergency.
That's why I don't want to go into it, because then you will say this thing is bad for George Manuel Weah. Like I say, honor George Manuel Weah. You have almost 100,000 Liberians have gotten themselves involved in drugs. Under President George Manuel Weah, Almost
stress too can
100,000
kill people
Liberians. And that's George Manning, we are legacy he about to leave for the Liberian people. That George Manning, we are legacy. That George Manning, we are achievement for Liberians youth to be in drugs. It's unprecedented. Say what you want to say.
So, so like what Slanga said, I don't think I've heard the president say anything. But apart from that, you see, one major problem we have in our country is that we don't look at problems from the long term and react to them. This situation is not a situation that just sprung up on us today. It's been in the making for many, many, many years. The response of the U.S. government to drug trafficking in South America, coming up to the U.S., is what has made drug traffickers to think that West Africa is the best route for drug trafficking presently, because the U.S. has put so much pressure on them in Mexico and in South America that they think the best place to sell the drugs now is in Asia. So they come through West Africa, and West Africa happens to be a part of the world that is very weak on governance. We should have seen this thing coming many, many years ago, and we have not responded to it in a proper way. To deal with this issue is a two-pronged approach. You cannot deal with it just by looking at rehabilitation. You will not have the capacity to deal with that. You got to deal with it also from combating the drug trafficking. I mean, most of the drug trafficking that is done is not meant to be sold here. It's actually meant to serve as a conduit to send it somewhere else. But now we're staying in the little that stays here, has to be used. So we have to beef up our effort to fight the drug trafficking. We have to beef up our effort in fighting corruption, because if you don't fight corruption, drug trafficking will thrive. And pretty soon, Liberia becomes a narco state. And that would be far more dangerous. That would be far more dangerous than Kush or anything like
I beg you, that's why I like to interrupt you, Councilor. I beg you, Alpha Digga. I know this is your show, this is your day, but please help me. You say pretty soon. What do you mean pretty soon? The people allowed those people to walk free with over 140 million worth of drugs in the country. Then you say pretty soon? Let me say this real quick, just to add to what you are saying, and I hope James can put this up. They don't send a communication to plenary, right? And you have it, Damon. If not, I will send it to you too, because it's important for you to receive it. I will just read the conclusion of this, the last paragraph, Councillor, and I think it will be helpful for our listening audience. In consequence of the above, I respectfully seek the endorsement of plenary to some of the Minister of Justice. He asking them, bring the Minister of Justice, Director of the DEA, bring them, right? And the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Agency, along with other relevant state security authorities in connection with the matter referenced above. My brother, people are trying, lawmakers are trying like DeLong. But you know why? Who you protect? And I leave it there.
Stanton, the thing about it is that what's the budget for the Drug Enforcement Agency, for example, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency? Look at that, and then that would tell you how serious it is. Our lawmakers take $30,000 every year, saying they're going to do each $30,000 every year each, right? I think that should be a year each, and they say they're going to do community engagement. If that you multiply $30,000 by 103, and compare that to the DEA budget, I'm very sure the DEA budget doesn't even reach that amount. So that tells you how serious they are when it comes to fighting drug trafficking. That's what it tells you.
No, so, but you see, the sad thing about this whole drugs thing, it's not unique to Liberia. There's a video I put in the chat room there that got Sierra Leone. But I spent some time in Conakry, and I can tell you, Conakry, if you think Liberia is, I think Conakry is the narco capital of the Mano River Union. I'm telling you. I hear this elaborate story about those high-rise buildings that you see popping up around Conakry owned by drugs trafficker. Very huge. So, I mean, if that entire South region is not even secure, there's a video I put in there about the Kush in Sierra Leone. I think it's almost worse in Sierra Leone than Liberia. So we're talking about a pandemic. if we don't to control ORA. But I would also move on to something else. Jua Howard Taylor Dama, was it you that did that interview today?
No, it was Haji. He's assigned at the Capitol.
Yeah, she spent I think 45 seconds, less than 45 seconds. I didn't believe a word that she said, but if we have that clip, I think we can play it. I don't know what a good they can play that clip, and then we can go from there. We have another video of her. First, she.
Well, man, we didn't give our intro back. You can't allow us to do. We just came. We met you guys for
No,
this discussion.
you can't live because you want to raise news, so you can't live. We'll get you. We'll spare you for the class here. But we'll get our intro. I mean, we just jumped in the program because we're not many here. But now that Fagon, welcome. Fagon,
we got plenty of people coming on the show. Then
plenty of people coming on. Where is Sando? I enjoyed Sando yesterday. By the way, is he coming?
Let Sando sleep, my man.
I enjoyed Sando yesterday. He got fired.
But I will make Fagon vet. Somebody get Fagon gold ring. Fagon, what kind of society ring on your finger, so? What kind of society ring is that?
That one is gone.
That's a fake ring.
You see the diamond in the thing?
That's a fake thing, man. I've
been wearing this for so many years. My pictures will tell you. I've been wearing this for over 25 years.
I'm not talking about the thing on your neck, but I guarantee on your neck. I'm talking about the one on your finger. That guarantee.
But we're not stealing no car money. I'm not related to man.
There you go. I'll open your mouth.
I face to the rich people. Saying Ben knowing me, I ever tell you say Kumi's not coming before. You look at poor man, Bama lay guarantee from Aricos.
But I will say this to you, Fadiga. This information we're going to put it up. It's on the Senate agenda for tomorrow. That which was written by Darius DeLong. And they will be discussing it tomorrow. So we want everyone to turn in
on the drugs.
Seriously, on the drugs issue, calling for Justice Minister, the DEA, and all of them. I believe that people should really listen. You got to beat on your lawmakers because, again, it's in your community, and you have to beat on them. So I hope we can follow tomorrow and yet exactly the discussion on this call to action, the document, the letter written by Abraham Darius DeLong. But go ahead, Buzz.
Since you already on, just start with your opening statement. I don't know whether you listened to the intro, but those guys talk about host of different things. George, we are just dedicated someplace. Albert, something pitch in Town. He talked about him wanting to host the African Cup of Nations. I think the President Weah said. And then he said this new guy, Diallo, that is running for the Senate against Sir Joseph, said that he will force every lawmaker per Prince Johnson declaration that every lawmaker to official of government should take drug tests, so he will force them, and then the Kush something. So, and then we'll go to the jewels something. So, anything along the line, if you can open your intro on it, or it should be something else. It doesn't matter. You got your 2 minutes. I'm not big on time. So, yeah, you saying you already on the phone.
Yeah, we are not many. Seriously, man. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not dismissing your agenda, but your agenda will put me to sleep. To tell you the truth, I don't want peace tonight. I want trouble always.
No, but we got a Prince Johnson issue coming on.
Hey, the Prince Johnson issue is very, very interesting. We got text messages, we got video, we got audio. We're going to play them all. It's very important that we'll be reaching out to Madam Joa Howard Taylor. We heard today. She spoke condemning it, but not to its fullest. She condemned it with condition. We'll be discussing that. Liberians need to know that we are on a very, very bad track right now. If it is true from the NPP, we got full information from NPP. They held a meeting today. Lomax went crazy. He's on the audio. He blasting folks and saying, listen, this is wrong. This game, what the situation you have put Madam Joa Howard Taylor in is the worst I've ever seen in the history of NPP. We got the audio. We're going to be playing the audio. It's Lomax. And you know who Lomax is from NPP.
Is that Emmanuel?
Audio.
Emmanuel Lomax?
That's why I won't play, let he call your own name. He's there on the audio. We got messages from the chat room likewise. They are going against Madam Joa Howard Taylor. They put this on all folks. Madam Taylor said, I condemn it. But she kind of different today, though. We're going to show that video when she was walking out of her office, out of the Capitol building, and she said, I condemn it. We got people saying, listen, internationally, Eugene Nangbe say, I may disagree with Prince Johnson, but I didn't send them. So everybody saying it's not me, or it's not me, or then who sent the people? Who sent them? NPP starting again under Madam Joa Howard Taylor leadership? Folks, it's bad. It's scary. We have the audio. We will play the audio. We got the text messages. We're going to show them to you. And we got sedition turning on sedition. Go on Facebook and see what the sister wrote. She's a bloodbath sedition. President Weah just gave her another job. But she turned on them. She's saying that, listen, it's too late. We're going to read her message she posted on Facebook. Sedition turning on sedition. What's going on? President Weah copying Prince Johnson and say, I didn't send them. But you didn't send them. Your vice president sent them. I mean, Councilor, this is crazy, man. Everybody not saying, not me, or not me, or not. Then who sent the people? If it is not you, who sent them? Who sent those youth? Madam Joa have to even be more forceful. She got to tell us who sent her youth. The president said not him. Eugene Nangbe said not him. Madam Joa said not her. Who's the leader of NPP CDC? Boba Malu said not him. Then who sent them? So we'll play all this audio, we'll show you all the video, we'll share the text messages with you. And you need to understand our country is just on the bad. I agree with you, dog eat dog. That's what's happening right now with CDC and the coalition. That's exactly what's happening. So I will pause here. I know that's my intro. If I go, you won't go because we heard that Councilor Day's intro already. You are muted, Fagon.
Let me say good evening to all of you guys, and good evening to the peace-loving people of Liberia, wherever they are. Whether in the country or in the diaspora, it doesn't matter. Hope all of us are doing okay. I am deeply troubled and saddened by the kind of denials I see and I've heard, especially from Eugene Nangbe, when he says, first, we must make the determination there was an attack. I'm sorry for him. I feel really, really sorry for him. This thing was shown on social media. It is clear. You can see the people pushing the people off the church compound from amongst the cars. And you sit on the Voice of America and say, first of all, we must make that determination. You're an idiot to be so close to the president. I must say that, unfortunately. You cannot have, you see things where your eye, you know it for a fact. Your boss, the president, say, look, my hand is not inside. I'm sorry. The vice president is now coming to terms with it. And then in an interview with the VOA, you seem to suggest we have to determine first there was an attack. It's a pity. Secondly, we're looking at seditions now coming to terms with the fact that it's over. I mean, Kotati and others, they're all posting the scary messages. And then I go back to my good friend, Arthur Johnson, Councillor Arthur Johnson. I have seen this thing. I've known it for a fact. The fact that you're close to a higher up does not mean you can take the law into your hands. So the guys have agreed. They will come up. They will show the evidence. And I hope he gets to respond that you are a lawyer. And when you are representing a party, you don't allow the party to influence you to go against another party, and then you take the inappropriate action using the military and the police. That is unacceptable. Lastly, I heard you guys talking about the drugs. I heard you guys saying they're going on the house floor. Amen. Which one of you can stare me in the eyes and say on the first round of using Liberia as a drug hub, the cartel decided to send $100 million worth of drugs? Which one of you can look at me and say so? You got to send maybe 5 million first. Didn't catch it. You send 10. If they didn't catch it, you send your late 20. They didn't catch it. Nobody sends $100 million worth of drug on the first hit. No. On top of that, even when it was announced that they caught $100 million worth of drugs, 2 weeks later, what did they do? They caught the second $40 million worth of drug. Liberia is a narco state. I think that my brother. No, Liberia is a narco state.
Oh, not yet.
Now your definition would be, oh, they're sending it there. If it's transiting, if it has become a hub, like we now know it has been over the last 5 years. If you say on Elling, there were people maybe 15,000 on drugs, what would you say now? The entire country, our youths, what would you say? And at the end of the day, let's not look at whether we are producing it. No. Let's look at the quantity that has been ferried through the country. In the space of just 2 months, Lami, $140 million worth of drugs. That's what percentage of your entire budget. You see what we're talking about? If you look at that, that's almost 1/3 of your budget. Just in one soup. And you say, no, we ain't reached that. No, we've passed that level. And then on top of it, see the fingerprints of the narco operators. They caught the people, they carried them to the court. The same day they released them, they fled the country. Guess what your justice minister did? Oh, this is not fair. Justice minister? I would take an appeal to the Supreme Court. If that was you, you would have had surveillance on them, true or false. If you knew you were going to take an appeal, you would have had surveillance on those people. But no, the people gone. They will come in here. The drugs. Then the court say they must get the people the 200,000. The people even wait for it. The people gone. Yeah, you laughing? The narco party operating. Somebody will eat a 200,000.
Oh, they will send it to them by mobile money.
They what?
They will send it to them by mobile money.
Ain't it, man? The poker. Yeah, anyway, they got mobile money account. You see it?
But let me ask you, Fagon. So, are you saying that they left the country immediately upon their release?
I said immediately upon the release.
Waste time.
According to the lepe, you know what they call lepe? The small thing on the street. No, I got ears, I got eyes.
So the deal was that, okay, we're going to release you guys. Y'all get your paper release and your checker.
You even know it on the paper they say we release you.
The moment they were acquitted, you know, there's no reason to keep them. No, guys, they didn't even waste time. They absconded right away.
So even the Liberians have money left.
So let me ask you a question, you guys, because they say better go burn you ask for the beer. Let me ask you a question real quick, Councillor. So, what kind of battle now Musa Dean is talking about fighting? They left. The people gone. Who he chasing now?
No, I think the best that the government can do personally is to see whether there was manipulation with the jury, and if that is the case, they got to throw the books at all the people who were involved. That's the only thing they can do presently.
No. Let me don't do this. Let me don't do this, man. Let me don't do this, Councillor.
You expect somebody to say they give me 5,000.
Fadiga, I beg you, please allow us. I know you moderating, man.
Oh, it's okay.
If you know yourself, Lami,
Uh-huh.
and you are the justice minister, the people check out, they're gone, and Liberia need to hear this because that's why I don't let Fire go here. He not tell the people say the people check out.
They're gone.
Those I know the people check out. All right. Those that know the people check out. So what kind of fun was I going to fly again?
No, but that's what I said. You see, the thing about it, the moment you acquitted the people,
cover up. Musa didn't try to show face and cover up something because there's no more fight left.
I think he genuinely saying that he did not expect this result. But again, we need to know what kind of measures they put in place to ensure that this thing did not happen the way it turned out. We don't know all the facts yet. You know, like I was telling you,
the people gone. No. One of the facts here is that you set them free, they left the country.
No, the two facts is that they were set free. Fact number one. Fact number two, they gone.
They check up.
So the facts about what led to this acquittal, we don't have all. And as I was telling Fadiga, it's either that the government was very incompetent in presenting his case to the jury, and the jury didn't find any reason to hold those people. So they deliberately set out to lose, which is not the case because the Minister of Justice press statement is clear that they think they had a solid case and they don't understand why it ended up that way. So if that's the case, without reading the trial, and we're all doing assumptions here right now, right? The trial transcript will tell us more about what actually happened. So till we can really get the trial transcript and read it, we won't be able to make real informed judgments about what happened. But the second reason could have been that even though the government proved the case, the jury just felt that we would nullify the law. You know, so we find the people not guilty. The jury can do that. They are allowed to do that.
I mean, by Councilor, help our Liberian people, but forget that, blah. It's done. It's over. C'est fini.
No, but
you go up and come down. Okay, so let me ask you a question now. Yeah. And I know you're going to get fair with me, but that Joe government, man. That Joe government. You go up, you come down, my brother. You're not getting the people back.
No, you're not getting
You cannot chase them on the international wire and say you'll bring them back. You're saying that the 200,000 they put, say forget it, you can have it. Who gonna eat it? Put 200,000. You said they will send it to them by mobile money.
Hey man, they said 140 million worth for drugs. You only take 200,000. They said they put my account from.
You know the what puzzles me about this whole case for the United States government. Joe, we are brave because honestly, with that amount of eyes on that kind of thing, something that was heavily publicized by the United States government, when every eyes on it, and no guys walk away free, some big drug law either threaten somebody's life, somebody had to be afraid of losing something. Because I watched a lot of Mexican drug movie, probably is over exaggerated there. But you would think that the government would be on this case like oil unrest. For them to be careless with this kind of case, the first time in the history of our country.
Who tell you they were careless?
I think it was deliberate.
Why they put 200,000? Who get the 200,000, Councilor?
That was the first one got cash and call with the people you see again.
In the custody of the justice authorities.
Where?
The 200,000 in the custody of what?
It will be in the custody of the prosecution, most likely.
So, LeBron, everybody beg you, everybody, hold on 1 minute. LeBron, listen, let me ask Councilor again. Councilor, the people want to hear you.
Don't get it, man. They say it will be.
Let me ask the Councilor.
Yeah.
Councilor, Liberians are listening to you right now. We'll open the phone line and we ask them who get the people 200,000 right now. Who get the 200,000?
The government will have the 200,000. The branch of they most likely, because the prosecutors, those will all be the fruit of the crime. They charge them with money laundering, right? So that will be evidence. The drugs, normally what they do is when they arrest drug, the bulk of it will destroy and they will keep a little bit to serve as FOC for evidence. So because that is evidence, it will be in the possession of the prosecution. Obviously, that will be Justice Ministry. The court has ordered them to turn it over. Councillor Dean is saying that they were looking for the people to turn it over to them. They couldn't find them anywhere. So they probably decided to just
So they want to get it put at 200,000. And LeBron should listen though. Councillor Dean is saying you can't get your money. 200,000. And the person we don't want it. You can have it. No, the councillor, you can laugh. Please don't laugh on this one, councillor. So I want you to explain. I beg you, Fadiga, let the man explain to us. The 200,000 in whose possession? Musa Dean possession, or we say?
But why you ask the man are government stores, man?
My man, councillor.
We say it's not working for the Ministry of Justice anymore. We say it works for the courts now. He's part of the judiciary person. He's a relieving judge.
So who was the lead prosecutor?
Wow, the magnitude of this case, I'm not too sure, but because of the magnitude of this case, it will be the Solicitor General.
Who's the Solicitor General?
The Solicitor General is Councillor Tuan, but I'm not sure who was it.
No, hold on now. So I'm asking you this question.
If I were the Solicitor General, I would take lead in this case because of the
No, but hold on now. Hold on 1 minute. You said the Solicitor General, what's his name again? The name of the SG, what's his name?
Yanati Tuan.
Councillor who?
Yanati Tuan.
Yanti, that crewman again. Yanti Tuan.
So I don't think his tribe matters.
No, man. I'm not. Let's say our crew.
It does.
Man, crew man. Let me do my thing. So I am saying to you, at the end of the day, brother, the drugs issue, the whole drugs issue, the 200,000, and part of the evidence, which is some part of the other drugs that they kept for themselves as evidence, we should understand that somebody having the 200,000. But for the beginning, the 200,000 wasn't 200,000. The money went, some part of the money got missing upon the arrest. We'll come to that later. So whatever the amount is, we can say 200,000, they have it. So for Liberians to understand tonight, they ask them to say, okay, now upon release, you'll go get your money back. Did they tell them that they would give them the drugs back also?
No, you can't give them the drug back because, I mean, obviously it's an illicit substance. So if you are found not guilty, they will not give that one back to you. You know, you
so but they told them that they will give you your money back.
The judge ordered that the money should be returned.
So the money that was in question, not the money about the drugs. Why would you give them the money and you can't give them the drugs?
No. I think something we missing here. These guys, I don't think they brought in the drugs. They tried to purchase this $30,000 worth of container or why?
Man, don't come up with that. No, don't do that, brother.
According to the minister's press statement, they tried procuring the container from somebody using bribery and stuff like that. Yes. So they must have known the content of the container.
It was not their container according to it. So they tried to get.
But why you were saying you want buy specific container? They said, wait.
Well, that's not a crime. Maybe you can play the money in one spot.
But why that particular container they wanted to buy? No other container.
Oh, man, you can't force someone to do everything.
So you not bribe somebody to buy something before?
They think 130,000. You say you won't get 200,000, 1 million for it.
That's why. What is inside that you want to get that kind of money?
That's why the Liberian government need to answer.
But you know what? A couple of things, and we should leave with our followers tonight is that one, we understand that the government still got the 200,000. What they're going to do with the money is up to them. Who said what the lead prosecutor is, and the judge and the Minister of Justice, Musa Dean. The rest of the story right now is just a dead story. The people left. They're gone. They check up. They are not in the country again. So any other thing happening now, that's part of the story, guys. Let's move on, man.
The drugs that they seize to use in court as evidence, FOC, the drugs melting on the small inside now.
Oh yeah, everybody got to. Yeah, I heard that they say only small the drugs left. But Fadiga though, let's go to our other very important story about what is happening in the country. If you don't mind, my brother, I heard that you're moderating today.
Oh man, anybody can moderate. They open whoever.
Oh, but I will bring the other conversation up. I happy that you say anybody. Because your computer sounding so bad anyway. So it's good that you give it a fagon.
Me apo my friend and I kumis than I Eileen. Eh, my brother.
I mean, you can
Councilor, let me
deliver.
ask you, Councilor, we had Prince Johnson on the show yesterday. And it's important for us to do this, which will help us greatly. Today, a lot of videos, VOA. Let's start with Eugene Nagbe. And I want to ask you guys what are his excuse. You're going to buy his excuse giver. Eugene Nagbe, Commissioner, former Information Minister, Commissioner for Maritime. Prince Johnson directly accused him and said, Eugene, you send the people, you and Joel and Jefferson Koji. Let's play his video. The video from VOA this morning. Let's play. James, are you with us?
Former Liberian Information Minister Eugene Nagbe and a senior member of the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, is denying allegations by Senator Prince Johnson that Nagbe and President George Weah sent ruling party supporters to interrupt Johnson's Sunday church service. Nagbe tells me that while he has political differences with the senator, it does not include the use of violence.
First, they will have to determine whether there was an attack per se on his church. You know, the video I just watched shows some people with placards demonstrating close to his church. Clearly, neither did I send them, nor did President Weah do so. So it is quite unfortunate that Senator Johnson will say that somebody sent people to attack his church. It's not true. My disagreement with him is political. It involves no violence. We have a democratic process. He's a member of the opposition. I support the ruling coalition. So yes, we will have exchanges about political views, but that will never go to the point of violence. We are the government. We are the protector of the peace of the state, and we'll continue to do so.
Mr. Nagbe, what political differences do you have with Senator Johnson? Because he's claiming that the people who went there to his church were wearing some regalia that relate to the ruling coalition. So what kind of political difference do you have with him?
Like I said, I recently conducted an interview where I expressed the fact that his opposition to the president, he's been making a lot of statements that are inaccurate.
So let's Fadiga, you go first now. The issue about this, Eugene trying to start off and say, listen, I didn't send them, I'm not in support.
Well, one thing I've gathered about Eugene, he tells believable lies. And he says it with straight face.
I don't know where they got to be coming from those lines. Go ahead.
No, seriously, Eugene is master. He would just come on and say it with straight face. And he leave it out there. Those that will believe him will believe him. Those that will not believe him will just leave it out there. He doesn't have to I mean, he's good at what he does. I think he mastered the art of deception. If you listen to Eugene Nangwe this morning, this is regular, typical Eugene. He's a spin master. He has done it for several years now, and so what I listened to today is just one of his many deflection. But the reality here is, look, besides what Eugene Nangwe said, one sedition told me this morning, it was Prince Johnson that sent his own people. A permanent sedition told me nothing this morning. I said, you know, I just gave him some kind of swearing word in the back. I just caused a crap out of him and left it there because I just couldn't. He said that something. So this is the thing that we expect to see, that Prince Johnson planted those people on himself. So maybe they're blaming the CDC. I don't know if it's not them or the MPP. Who else have the motive or the means or the desire to do that to Mr. Johnson, when we all know the bombshell that Senator Johnson was about to drop yesterday? So, I mean, you have to be gullible to believe that it was not the government. We have seen it. This is becoming a pattern from the LU, from the protests. These guys have mastered something called counter-protest. We have never, that CDC brought up a counter-protest. This is just a way of government, and the police gave them corridor. So they are not only counter-protesting, they are counter-protesting with the backing of the police. The police come and they come in to create buffer zone, give this guy leeway to come, and then pretend that they don't know. This, I mean, it's becoming a pattern. It's becoming glaring that the government is behind it. So I won't give credence to anything Eugene Nangwe say. Like I said, he tell believable lies.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the show, Dr. Richardson. It's good to have you on. Let me go to Councilor Lamine Paco. You heard what Eugene said, Councilor. Your take.
So, I mean, Eugene clearly denied that he had anything to do with it. And I mean, I always like to hesitate saying the contrary to people's denials, especially if I don't have the clear facts on what actually happened. So to know whether Eugene was among the people who sent people to Senator Johnson's place, you must be an insider, and you must probably believe what, if an insider tells you that, you must believe it. But I mean, from some of the information we've been hearing flowing around, Steve Bannon, that was Trump's campaign manager, the phrase he used, flooding the zone. It's basically flooding the zone tactic. So someone accuses you of something, you counter accuse. You counter accuse several other people. So at the end of the day, everybody starts wondering who's saying the truth. That probably what's happening. But it's difficult for me to say whether Eugene is saying the truth or not. I mean, he's denied that he had anything to do with it. What is clear is that people from their side cross a line. Okay, whether they know something about it or not will be determined by what kind of action they take against those people who cross the line. The fact that up to now, they don't seem to have taken any action against the people who cross the line, it's probably safe to assume that there is somebody with authority in their group that sanctioned this action. So we can make that safe assumption. But specifically who, it will be difficult to tell. You can always blame the people at the top. You can blame the president, you can blame the vice president. You can blame probably people who are in control of the security forces. But to pinpoint any other lower level person would be a little bit more difficult, because right now it's basically everybody flooding the Zoom with their own information. At the end of the day, it's difficult to really tell who's actually saying the truth. But as I said, one pure conclusion that can be made is that the government was responsible for what happened because they have the authority to do something about it. It's been over 24 hours now. They've not done anything about it.
Thank you, Councilor. On the former minister Eugene Fagon.
Well, I worked with Eugene for 3.5 years. I know his game. He starts the interview by saying, first of all, we have to make the determination whether there was an attack. And then he tried to put the spin on it by saying the guys were outside of the church premises protesting. Those two things, for people like us who have the professionalism in that area, the next thing I did was to tell Stanton, whoa, cut this part. Let's get it straight. The guys were actually, it was an attack. So we showed the church, we showed them at the church. The second thing, play it like when people see them pushing them from the compound itself of the church. So not only now was there an attack, secondly, they were on the premises of the church compound. The video shows it clearly. Now, I think Stanton have those two facts supplied to him. Then,
so let's just call for the video to make your point, because you have that video. James, can you put it up? The one you...
Former Liberian Information Minister, you...
Not that one, James. The one that you caught from 2 minutes, 45 seconds.
We don't want bloodshed. I will address myself to those statements made about me by our Vice President next Sunday, where I will have 500 men. I'm sending for 500 men. Civilians.
But James, that's not that video. I sent you the video, James, and I said cut from 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Fagon, can you go ahead?
Or you can even start it from 3 minutes to about 4 minutes, 20 seconds, just 1 minute stuff, you will see it. But again, Then Eugene comes out to say, I don't know about it. This guy and I have political differences. Well, yes, you have political differences. He went on to explain that in an interview, he went against Prince Johnson. Well, Prince Johnson said he was going to answer you. Could that be the reason why? The truth of the matter is, like Lamy said, you say you guys, President, Vice President Eugene Nangbe, you all deny it. But these people were wearing your berets. Are you concerned? They were wearing your T-shirt, your T-shirts. Are you concerned? Or were you concerned? They carry your banners. Were you concerned? Most importantly, hear me and hear me well. They were all identified as your members. As a matter of fact, one of the guys, Pretty, graduated from AMU or so, with a degree in economics.
AMU.
I sent that to you.
Zion.
Yeah, Zion. Hey, I know you want to protect your school. You go high in the background. NCR, we know how to get in from inside the darkness. So we are go. Now, what happened there? He's attending the Cotton Graduate School. He's well known. He's not hating. The picture that Joe Howard got, all the soldiers behind her, the one I sent you. The guy there is a member of NAPA, an executive member of NAPA. Well known. You can call any big man in NAPA, they will tell you. So, it is not hating. Now, you and I, Stanton, you said, let's go in MPP soon. You asked me to hold the door, right? You open the door, I held the door. You said, look, make sure nobody can lock us all inside here. I held the door. When we went in the MPP house, what did we see there? The argument, the admittance. Yes, it was the people. Then the CDC issued a release and indicted the NPP, calling it a constituent party. Amen. The NPP is not existing by itself. The NPP is a member of the coalition. Read the second paragraph. So how can the coalition distance itself from the NPP when they are all in this coalition? If A is equals to B and B is equals to C, then A is equals to what? If NPP carry out the act and NPP is a part of the coalition and the coalition is the whatever ruling party, then who did it? Danane? I don't understand them. You're the man right there, recent graduate of the AMU body, who is currently enrolled at Cottington Graduate School. Even you can see him with a catcher. You can see him with Joel. Yeah, Joel, he's standing right down there. Which one we going to do again? Which one we going to do again? And how we be doing that thing? So Eugene Nangbe know what he's doing. Eugene Nangbe is currently in the U.S. to attend the Lescar something. Actually, in my view, they can't begin to see how much more left there for them to divide it. Today, I'm not looking at the news. When we talk about the 40 million, they couldn't get it from the African Development Bank to have manipulated their all kind of thing. They got 3 million. What was the purpose of the 3 million? I'm not digressing from the topic. The purpose of the 3 million was to upgrade the system to allow central bank a payment system to be correct. You're the one in the team. You can't pay people. You can't pay a government employee. Why are you upgrading the system with 3 million? Why you can't just pay the people the 3 million?
So let's come back on track.
So that's Eugene Nangbe's spin. That, oh, I didn't do it, but I don't think there was an attack. The poor were outside. He wants to deflect the topic from on him as a perpetrator to them as a group. And the debate should be whether they did it or not him. So I worked with him for 3.5 years. I partially trained him too.
Thank you very much. Dr. Richardson, the thing about Eugene Nangbe, his video with VOA this morning is something like he either backing off. He's not been so straight as to whether he sent them, he didn't send them, whether he support the idea that somebody should walk a group and CDC and NPP group should storm Prince Johnson Church. He did it. Did you hear condemnation? I just asked him, but go ahead. Your take, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was late. I listened to the interview and I did not hear a strong condemnation at all. I want to state that I heard him sort of trying to define what attack is and saying that he didn't see any attack. This is some of the elementary thinking that I think about, or maybe this is for political reasons. That's why he's trying to define attack as, someone hitting someone. That's kind of the way that we see it. But attack comes in many different forms. It's hostility. It's any form of aggression, be it verbal, psychological, emotion. So he is limiting his definition of only to something that will happen physically between two people. But again, like I said, a lot of people tend to just be political, to clear their side or to support their political party. And I think as Liberians, we need to get away from that. Call it as it is. I agree that as a member of the government, he needs to condemn this in the strongest form. And I didn't see that. I hope that within the next couple of days, I'm going to give them some grace period that it will come out and condemn this. But, I'm being hopeful.
I pray that you remain hopeful till after October 10th, because I don't think they're coming with any statement. Maybe I'm making a mistake. The only statement we received today, are passing by, Madam Joa Howard Taylor, what you make of the accusation against you that you sent someone to Prince Johnson Church. Let's listen to the VP and we're going to have our take. Can you please? The VP video, please. James? Not there. Hello? You guys can hear me?
They said not D, they ain't said not D. What you want to do?
You are not crewman. Leave it alone. James, are you there? Can we listen to Joel, the VP video, please?
Not Dio.
All right. So let's try to get it. I don't know what's happening. We have to play the video again. James is holding us in a hostage tonight. Damo, are you with us? Damo?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it from Spoon TV. Be able to play it within the show. Let me get it as you guys are talking.
All right, thank you. So, but if you listen to the video, let me go to you, Fadika. Fadika, Madame Jua was walking. She was getting her car leaving, and the journalist asked her a question. Spoon were present, and her reply will be playing shortly once it is done by Damo. But talk to us. What you make about her response, though?
I listened to a portion of that thing where she said that they went to the Farmington, I don't know what it was, declaration or whatever, a Farmington agreement, and she was signatory to it, and that. But how they call it, American people call it, those are just gobbledygook. I don't think I didn't expect anything from her. I didn't expect anything. It was just her mouth was moving, but it was clear. Those guys came and said they came from MPP. And they were MPP operative. MPP, you cannot really differentiate between MPP and the whole CDC. So they are more of the same. They are all part of the coalition. Those guys, they don't forget they went Buchanan to attack Yombri. I think the group over there kind of kicked them aside. So, like I said, this is a clear pattern. I listened to her. She was just saying the politically correct thing, but as far as believability, whether I believe her, no, I didn't believe her word coming from the other madam.
So you know what? I'm sorry that James talking to me and I went like this to him, not to you.
Yeah,
he gave me too much of a hard time tonight, but he having problem with his internet in Europe.
We need to. James.
No, James having problem with his internet. He just sent me a blank screen on his computer. But the video is up. Let's just play this.
Welcome to Spoon TV Live. Of course, my name is Haji Masale. We are here at the Senate wing of Capitol Building, and the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia Her Excellency Chief Joel Howard Taylor. We'll be stopping just for a minute and talk to.
Good afternoon. Did you lead people believe to be talks to the Church of Senator Prince Johnson on Sunday? Are you aware?
In the strongest term, any issue of violence in the 2023 elections, we've all signed to a code of conduct. I stand by the president, I stand by the international community, I stand by our country, that peace is what we need. I believe this election is about ideas. How do we build a better Nigeria? What do we do to lift the lives of our people? Violence can never be a part of the psyche of our 2023.
Madam Vice President, the people there said they were from the NPP. Do you know some of them? Do you know any of those who were present? It's
okay. So Stanton,
so,
let me just
hold on,
say this.
No, I will come to you. No, I will come to you, Fadika. We just play, we start over. Let me ask this question. I'll say, please. Did she say I condemn election violence? Did she say anything about Prince Johnson?
No.
And the folks that went there, because the question, what was the question asked? Did you send them?
Yeah. And she even said,
so then you go ahead. You go ahead and talk to us now. Go ahead.
She lied, and she said another lie again. She said this elections is about the issues. Madam Vice President, you were not discussing the issue in the Senate. When you were on the floor, you were not discussing the issue. You attacked Ambassador Boyka. You attacked him you went so low, accusing him of even insinuating that he's not a Liberian, that he doesn't have a house in Lofa County. It is across the border. And we all know what that means. She accused him of having one place there. She went again, she talked about Senator Johnson being the incoming president and insinuating that something bad might happen to Ambassador Boykai, and then Jeremiah Kuhn would be the president, which will automatically be and all these lies and pettiness. I mean, the contradiction is just so clear, and I think she's shameless. You know,
So I agree. Listen, guys, I'm kind of confused though. Yeah, let's welcome our retired corner, Ira McGray. You've been out for some time. It's good to have you back. The conversation is Madam Joel Howard Taylor. Guys, give it your best shot, man. Let's play it one more time because our audience want to actually hear the question and they want to hear her answer. And they want to also follow through to the second question that she didn't answer. We have text messages from the chat room, the NPP chat room. We have our audio, video, and audio. The audio was Lomax speaking and encouraging them that was a wrong path to take. We played, but play this thing one more time, my picking James. Play it real quick, I beg you, just one more time.
Hello, welcome to Spoon TV Live. Of course, my name is Haji Masale. We are here at the Senate wing of Capitol Building, and the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Her Excellency Chief Joel Howard Taylor, will be stopping just for a minute and talk to.
Good afternoon. Did you lead people believe to be talks to the Church of Senator Prince Johnson on Sunday? Are you aware?
In the strongest term, any issue of violence in the 2023 elections, we've all signed to a code of conduct. I stand by the president, I stand by the international community, I stand by our country, that peace is what we need. I believe this election is about ideas. How do we build a better Nigeria? What do we do to lift the lives of our people? Violence can never be a part of the psyche of our 2023.
Madam Vice President, the people there said they were from the NPP. Do you know some of them? Do you know any of those who were present? It's
okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Fagon, you left. I want to bring you in, but let me go to Councillor. Councillor, what you just heard and what you have just seen, Madam Vice President walking out, that's it. She answered that one question. Give me your take on the VP, because we're about to play something for Liberian to understand tonight.
I mean, it seems like she said she had nothing to do with the attack. Um, I mean, she straight up denied it, although the audio is kind of really low, so it's difficult to really make up some of the other things that she said. She seemed to have denied it. But looking at things that the speech that led to the war wars between her and Senator Johnson, and also considering that the people who actually perpetrated the act claim to be from her political party, and that other post about the other guy who seems to have been in that demonstration that seems to be close to her, suggests that again, as I said, the ruling establishment knows about what happened, and the fact that they've not done anything to bring to book the people who crossed that line, it seems to be clear. Also, it further clarifies that the action was sanctioned by them. Because if the action was not sanctioned by them, or even if it was sanctioned by them, the fact that you guys are being caught, you would take action against them to make it to appear like you're not only saying words that you don't know about what happened. So there's a form of adaptive emission here by their inaction. It's been almost, not even almost, it's more than 24 hours since the incident occurred. They've done nothing. They are the government. They have authority over the security forces. They've done nothing. There's a video of people. You can identify them clearly on the screen. There's no information that they picked up any of those people. There's no information that they're doing an investigation of those people. There's no information that they're probably bringing charges against them, and what kind of charges, whether it's trespass or whatever. So, I mean, it's hard to just take the few seconds denial as anything serious. And this is testament of the need to bring sanity to governance in this country. To focus on the issue of rule of law, and stamping out these bad behaviors. There should be no degree of thuggery anywhere in our governance or our political system. These things should be condemned, not by lip service, by people. They should be condemned by people who are non-government people who are in other political parties. But for government people, it's not only lip service and condemnation by words. You got to go a step further and take action.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Let me bring in Fagon. Fagon, I don't think you want us to play this video again, but something is just not right in this video. Madam answered one question, Madam VP. She walked out. She refused to answer the second question. She didn't directly say, I condemn those that went to Prince Johnson Church. I condemn the activities that took place at Prince Johnson Church. No. She went on the side of election violence and she supported the president. Talk to me, Fagon.
Well, the first thing, I have really played James Scott Malay video with the Nimba Council of Elders from 2:30 to 5 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds to 5 minutes, and the Liberian poll hear what the people of Nimba have said and have spoken through the Council of Elders of the county of Nimba. Now, again, we know these things. You are coming down the stairs, you stop, and you're talking, looking at your phone or doing something. And then the guy on the ground says, Madam Joy Howard Taylor is coming downstairs. She will take a question. Now, we call it, there's a name for it. We call it like a presser, where we just catch you right-handed, nowhere to shake or take. You didn't even prepare for it. She's coming down the stairs. She stopped. Notice, the guy makes the announcement right there, and she comes. If she were walking and they stop her, fine. She stopped right there. The guy cuts in front of everybody, asked the one question that she wanted asked, that she had rehearsed to answer. Remember, I was in the business for 3.5 years. So once he puts the question through, she answers it, she moves forward. But what was the answer? Did you lead him? No, I did not. It's unfortunate. No. She just pivoted, did what she had to do, and that was it. And that's exactly why I thought James said his laptop gave him problem. I thought it was important for the Liberian people to see the proof, the evidence. And the Nimba County elders speaking for and on behalf of the people of Nimba were very, very strong in their statement. And you know what? They were very educated too. They cited Article 14 and 15. They call on the Justice Minister to have the people arrested. They call on the president to do 4 things, I believe, A, B, C, and D. They later and they thank Prince Johnson for exercising restraint, for being politically, I'm quoting them, matured. Their statement were very strong. And I think, Madam Vice President, from all that we know, hear me and hear me well, and all that you and I, Stanton, have seen, hear me and hear me well, some of which you will read, hear me and hear me well. It's not good for the NPP. It's not good for her. But what is scary to me is that people in the NPP chat room can clearly state that we were wrong. It was stupid. We should not have done it. And as a matter of fact, they even told Emmanuel Loma that you're talking Tabata. Where were you in the last 24 hours? Why did you allow this to happen? Again, I don't know what to say to Madam Vice President, but you are with the people. The people are in your party. And here we are today. Look at what has happened. One of the guys even went to the extent of saying, when we were down, all of what we went through, was CDC there for us? Why should we go and fight that battle? Now it's what we see. And it is what it is, unfortunately. I'd rather move on than to talk about the drugs when I know they're involved. The extrajudicial killings when I know they're involved. The torture, as the State Department said, torture and unusual punishment, I know they are involved. When you talk about corruption, I know they are involved. And that's why you have the deafening silence throughout the city, and the new dawn is about to greet the Liberian people. We are with that new dawn.
Thank you very much, Fagon. We appreciate your time. Dr. Richardson, your take on this Madam Joa Howard Taylor video.
So the vice president was silenced for a while. We didn't hear from her, I think, during the first 2 years of the U.S. presidency. But recently she seems to be making a series of statements that are not matching up to the experience of what is happening in the government. She did condemn the violent act. However, she didn't answer the question, as we are saying here. Like when they asked her, well, did she know the guy? She did not answer it. But we saw that initially when she was in the chamber, she was condemning Yeke. She was talking about the vice president in interesting ways. I think that this will be a moment of reflection for her, that she's going to go back and think about what she said. And hopefully she will put up another statement saying that we don't need this kind of trouble in our country. As a member of the government, they should be upholding the law and setting examples for people who break the law. So I think I agree with someone who said that we should move one step forward. All this talking and speaking, doesn't help. We need to start setting examples. Like if you know who broke the law by entering and acting in a hostile way at Senator Johnson's church, you need to call those people to book. And then let's set an example and let them serve as a deterrent. So those would be my thoughts on the vice president.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Ed, I think you follow us. We play the video again. She responded to the question asked by the journalist, but you can understand that there's no mention of Prince Johnson Church. Let's hear you, Mr. Gray.
Just before Gray come in, Nepal, the National Patriotic Association of Liberia is having a meeting as we speak to issue a statement condemning the NYPC, the National Youth, National NPYC, the National Patriotic Youth Council of the NPP. Nepal is meeting right now. I'd just like to inform you all.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sorry, Mr. Gray.
Mr. Gray. Go ahead. Sir.
Okay, gentlemen and lady. Good day anyway. Yeah, you know, probably my presence on Spoon would be because my task at my individual task is becoming heavier and heavier. So I will appear whenever I can. But firstly, I heard Madam Vice President issuing an apology. I mean condemnation in the strongest term. But no sooner she pivoted to something else. I thought her speech was measured. She was trying to stick within a script. I'm pretty sure she might have been advised on what to say and what not to say. But for me, I'm concerned more at the escalation of this saber rattling between our political actors, and the fact that people will continue to use the pulpit as the stage to rebellize our people is one that concerns me more. And I'm waiting to hear from the Council of Churches to condemn either the president doing that or anybody, including Senator Johnson. These are some of the issues and patterns that led to our civil war. If you heard Senator Johnson, he was appealing directly to his people. Now, that was how people started appealing to Nimbanians back in the 90s. And people don't take those things lightly. That's why we all have a responsibility to actually even control the conversation. Yeah, we can say this person is wrong, that person is wrong. For me, I know definitely one can ask which one of the NPP, because the NPP has its own struggle. But from again, if you're a behavior specialist, you will see that her body language suggested that she's aware of what went on. But is she going to come and say, yes, I sent them there? You can tell that there are some regrets as well. She thought probably she would have handled that better. But I think we should escalate this further and try to see if we can raise the necessary concern about using the church or the pulpit to really harass our people, or when I say harass, meaning arouse their anger. People listen to people who go to these kinds of places, us who in this public forum trying to bring, discuss the issues. And that's why you have a concept as a Radio Kigali, or the church also in Kigali was used to really incite people. And I'm seeing that increasingly coming up in our system, where people go to church on Sunday and they incite people up to the time when an open invitation was issued to certain people that, oh, come to my church on Sunday, I'll be discussing on this issue. Those, I don't know if those things will help us as a people. We can find out who leashed this particular group, but is that going to be the end? My fear is I think there'll be replication of these kinds of actions where people will just group people together and they go harass until it leads to full escalation of full conflict. And so I think we should control the conversation in ways that not necessarily to find out who incited our group to go there or who was the mastermind behind it, but how can we stop this? We need to stop this as a people. I think if the more we go into election, the more we're going to be having these kinds of situations. Thank you, gentlemen.
Let me stay with you, Colonel Gray. The president visited his church, Focus Clan. He preached from the pulpit. Uh, the most famous one, he called Louis by name. He addressed him. Prince Johnson, the same thing. Now it become to be like, I'm going to use my pulpit to speak to the nation, especially for the case of President George Weah. You cannot have an open press conference. You cannot call all the press together to discuss the issue, to ask you some hard question. Like our sister Sarah Matthew would say, you call a speech from the people, but then you go on the pulpit though to attack. I want you to address that, because you're saying that it is wrong, and this you are leading people on. Come to my church. I will throw hymns. I will use the pulpit like I'm preaching. So talk to us. Let me give you another 30 seconds or so. Talk to us on this very important issue.
You know, our people are conflict prone. When you're conflict prone, they say only one, you know, only tree won't fall, then you push up something up, you know, the bird won't fly, then you shake the tree. People are conflict prone. In other words, everybody just on the edge. The smallest things can move them. So those who are in our public spaces, especially our leaders, should be extremely careful on their action. Anything you do, people consider them to be command. You know, those of us who are military commanders will even guide our language, even the way we say things. I think the reason I'm saying this, both the president and a member of the legislature are notorious for inciting our people from the pulpit. And that is what we're supposed to be focusing on to stop. Because you know, from the the Rwanda experience, people who go to church, they're also believers. And they believe that whatever their leader in the church say, sort of is a divine message. I might be saying it wrong. You are more inclined, you know, religiously than I do, but I'm not blaming this on PYJ at all, because firstly, the act itself was just low. I mean, why would you go to a place where people have congregated to worship and carry those kinds of you know, chanting acts of lawlessness there? But again, I always say offense may come, but woe to the source. Maybe I did not issue a declaration that people should come to his church, and then they had gone there. Legally, you can look at it in ways. Lamin Pago is more the legal expert, maybe, but you send an open invitation. It's like a challenge. That is my point. That I don't. These kinds of challenges should stop. The president of the republic, who is the chief commander of our peace, the guy who's supposed to man our peace jealously, is the chief instigator, followed by another um, member of the first branch of government, the legislature. And these people have followers, they have people who believe in them. When they speak to many folks.
Thank you. But just not to cut you are quite correct. This is what happening. They go on the pulpit, and the pastor is divine. When the pastor speak, that's the Bible, and the followers have to march to the drum beat of the pastor. Exactly. So therefore, people use these things to move ahead. You are quite correct. Well, we got to go into the NPP chat room, folks. It's important. Because Emmanuel Lomax, actually, I want you to listen to it. I don't want to say what he say. We're going to do it bit by bit, and I want Liberians to listen, because it came to us today, and I was shocked when I received it this morning that Emmanuel Lomax said, listen, this is crazy for us to behave in such a way. James, can you play the audio from Emmanuel Lomax? We're not hearing you, James. You're muted.
I'm playing it, but I don't know. I'm going to let me play for some.
If that guy pass behind James one more time, I will take a picture and send it to Patricia or whoever I will send it. All of us used to play correct.
Explain.
Good afternoon, fellow participants. Okay. Over the past 24 hours, I came from the county and I met a situation on the ground with regards to the scenario at Queen Johnson's church, where our young people from the MPYC were involved. Also, since that time, I got this message and I got a network. I have been calling to consult with a lot of stakeholders in the party. It is unfortunate that when we plan anything, whether planned or unplanned, it is important sometimes to share ideas with people, and you can do all the surgical and critical cleaning up, and then you have your strategy proper. In this instant case, had some of us been informed, and I met a situation on the ground with regards to the scenario at Queen Johnson's church, where our young people from the MPYC were involved. Also, since that time, I got this message and I got a network. I have been calling to consult with a lot of stakeholders in the party. It is unfortunate that when we plan anything, whether planned or unplanned, it's important sometimes to share ideas with people, and you can do all the surgical and critical cleaning up, and then you have your strategy proper. In this instant case, had some of us been informed, we would have properly advised.
Guys, let me pause it there. It's very interesting. Is it just Emmanuel Lomax confirming that this thing was planned? I want us to be very, very sure of what we're about to do tonight. I want folks, you guys listen to it, right? Or should I go back again?
Go back again.
Yeah, let me go back again.
Use the first one. The first one is slower. If you run it too fast, then the voice sounds like changing. The first one I played was a little bit slower and people could understand better.
But then you play it from your end because I don't have the first one you're talking about. Which one are you talking about?
The same one that you played first. You played it over. It was the same words. It was just that it was faster.
All right. So let's try to do this one more time. It's very important, and I hope you guys can give us the chance for you to listen to it because I think Emmanuel Lomax is confirming that this thing was planned, and it was planned by NPP. Correct me. I stand to be corrected, folks. But let's play it again.
Good morning, good afternoon, fellow participants. Over the past 24 hours, I came from the county and I met a situation on the ground with regards to the scenario at Queen Johnson's church, where our young people from the MPYC were involved. Also, since that time, I got this message and I got a network. I have been calling to consult with a lot of stakeholders in the party. It is unfortunate that when we plan anything, whether planned or unplanned, it's important sometimes to share ideas with people, and you can do all the surgical and critical cleaning up, and then you have your strategy proper. In this instant case, had some of us been informed, we would have properly advised. Given the situation,
let me get your take, Fadiga. What you are hearing from Emmanuel Lomax? Your take.
That tape. I don't know whether he fast forwarding it, but we gotta be mindful. I don't want nobody coming here and saying what is started. I know Emmanuel Lomax. I've worked with him before, with the ALP. We did some stuff. He used to be chairman of the ALP. That's the Emmanuel Lomax there. He one of those people that will speak his mind. He doesn't mind ruffling fellows. He will say what it is. You see in the guy, that's how it is. That's just how Emmanuel Lomax will speak. What he was saying, whether we playing it, most of the time he was trying to talk in third person. But similar, what Lomax was saying is that, gentlemen, when you guys making these plans and trying to plan this thing, try to share it more also that we can have an input in it so that we do not embarrass ourselves like this. That is just similar what he was trying to say. And I think we're kind of concerning to him too. It is clear based on this tip that they plan it. They plan it. It was probably some low-level people that do it. But the thing here is when you do
we're going to go further. I just need a question. Please, I beg you. The clip is 16 minutes. We're going to play the entire thing. because Emmanuel Lomax went on and on and on. Liberians need to hear whether it was planned by NPP or whether it was done by both NPP and CDC. Finish your real quick.
Can Damo play this from studio?
If you want, I mean, what difference that would make?
It makes a lot of difference. I know Emmanuel Lomax.
In terms of the sound quality.
The sound.
All right, let me send it. Let me send it to Dama. So okay, let me say this to you, my brother, that know Emmanuel Lomax. It was Emmanuel Lomax.
I know it was.
Okay. But listen, Fadiga. This morning, the meeting that was held this morning, we were there. It was Emmanuel Lomax. We got all the text messages that will come thereafter. So we shouldn't say whether it was. But Dama, you have it, Dama. Can you play it from the studio?
Add our I and cross our T.
It was done already, brother. It was done.
Yeah, but if the voice quality sound a chipmunk, then you do not want Emmanuel Lomax to sound a chipmunk.
No. It sounds better from my end. Maybe it coming through the studio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right, so Dama, you got it. Can you play it from your end, Mr. Dama Slanger, please? While Dama getting this thing ready, Dama, do you have it? Councilor, is Dama in studio?
Yeah, I have it. I'm playing it.
All right.
Over the past 24 hours, I came from the country and I met a situation on the ground.
Can you increase the volume, please, if you can, Dama?
Church.
Yeah, that's the last volume.
Our young people from the MPYC were involved. So since that time, I got this message and I got a network. I have been calling to consult with a lot of stakeholders in the party. It is unfortunate that when we plan anything, whether planned or unplanned, it's important sometimes to share ideas with people, and you can do all the surgical and critical cleaning up, and then you have your strategy proper. In this instant case, had some of us been informed, we would have properly advised.
So Dama, pause it right there. Dama, pause it. That's why I want us to come in. Now it is clear. Let me get the the opinion of these folks here on set. Fagon. No, we play the whole team, man. Small. We're not rushing. We play all. It's better to enjoy your meat very slowly. You will choke. Fagon. Emmanuel Lomax. It's surprising that we're playing this thing because they didn't know that we have the tape. It was sent to us for us to play it. Not by Emmanuel Lomax, but this was in the chat room. And he was expressing himself in this manner. Fagon, talk to us. You are muted, Fagon.
What I'm going to get your opinion for? The man admitted that the thing was carried out by NPYC. You got a picture of Joel and Bleedy. You got a picture of Joel and Bleedy when Bleedy was in the MPFL fighting. You got a picture of Joel and what do you need? Yeah, Bleedy there. Bleedy led the attack. Yeah, Bleedy and his ante. Go to the Sunday, you will see Bleedy to her left. So what do you again? The man said it was carried out by our people. What more? Prince Johnson did not lie. Put the picture with her and the arm and them in their uniform. So you saw her face. When we get a security man, he said, look at the body language. I'm sure Dr. Fancy, when you were showing the clip, Dr. Fancy did this. Like she was reading the woman's eye. You know, she's a professional. She was reading the eyes and the body language. And I saw from an hour reading Dr. Francine's body language and face. Because once I see her, she twitch, then I know something over there was not correct. So it is no longer a secret. The attack was masterminded and carried out by some seditions led by the NP, National Patriotic Youth Council. They carry it out. There's a meeting taking place for Nepal to condemn and distance themselves from it.
We will get to that because we have messages from that meeting room right now. We will display it, Fagon. Thank you very much, Councillor Pakor.
My man, why
You
you
heard
cutting
the
me
clip.
off now?
My man, I just want to respond on this first few seconds, my man.
Why you bringing counsel at time for her to go to court?
But hurry on now, bad. This shit is not fact versus fiction, bad. Go ahead, bad.
All right, let me just deal with the fact that they do it, my people, that they go attack the man church. They enter the man yard. And we have the video where they enter the church yard. But the Nima Post said the first time in a statement that your kid and I were in the church, Lutheran church. The second one, you're not entire the church. They were very clear about it. So they call on the president to take some actions. I hope James can cut that video, play it so you can hear it from the Nima people and the elders.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilor, come in real quick, my brother.
Again, Conor Gray mentioned the issue of tamping down the rhetorics. Last night, I said the same thing, and Eugene and the other guys were saying that there's no need to tamp down the rhetorics. Eugene has said the same thing again. We got to be careful.
I didn't say so.
We have to be careful.
No, but let's correct that. I didn't say there is no need.
Yeah, but Eugene, you cannot interrupt the councilor. You have your time to respond.
To correct. I did
So
not
you,
say there
Eugene,
is no need. No,
Eugene, like I said, Eugene.
I said tune it down. Eugene
Fagon, you will have your time. You cannot interrupt the man. The man speaking.
Let him correct it.
No, but you cannot just jump in his throat like that. You have to wait, my man.
I'm
Let
not
man
jumping
speak.
his throat.
You're taking the man's time away. You are taking his time away. You will wait for your time, my brother.
Let him correct it. This is national radio.
Mr. Former Deputy Minister, you will correct the man later. So, go ahead, Councilor Paco.
From what Lomax is saying, Lomax is basically saying that this thing was done by their people. I mean, it's clear, but their people did it. The only thing he's saying is that it wasn't properly played. That's what he's saying. So they could have played it better. Not that it's wrong for them to do it. I mean, the part that you played so far, he's not saying it's wrong for them to do it. He's just basically saying that we could have been a lot more tactical. We could have played it better and executed it better. That's what he's saying.
Thank you very much. I won't keep, because we got to go on. Okay. I want to keep Dr. Richardson for last on this. Conor Gray, you talk about body language. But is this now confirming that NPP playing this thing?
But I said it clearly that you don't even need to scratch your head that this was planned at the highest level. Okay, this was something that was in the knowledge of, or what we say in the know of those who are the authorities. But I have yet to see a full-scale investigation. In my opinion, this looked like what obtained at the U.S. Congress, where a group of angry people storm a sanctuary. This is by all degree, trespassing is involved, and it could have escalated to a level. So the fact that you have one or two officials who are saying that it was not planned properly or it was not done civilly. The question is, the way they appeared, they did not go there to attend church. They didn't go there to listen to the sermon. They went there fully incited to wreak havoc, or even probably even harm some people. So my question is, why isn't the Justice Ministry launching a full-scale investigation into this, and bring some of the visible culprits who are seen on TV, doing firstly charge them with various charges. They were not there to attend church again, even though churches are open invitation. But if you're there with a motive other than to attend the church, that's criminal in nature. Pagoi could say that. But I think if we don't begin to put stop to this thing, it'll be one person play the game and another person goes for return match, and then that's how conflict escalates. My fear is this going to be the last day they will do it? I don't think so. Prince Johnson has just notified or put 500 people on notice, So the next time it happens, you know what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be a bloodbath. So should we allow it to get to that level? I think they should be fully investigated, and those who actually did this supposed to be brought to justice, in my
Thank you
opinion.
very much. Thank you, Colonel Gray. Dr. Richardson.
I feel so bad for Liberia. I feel very bad for our country that people can have the audacity to say yes, whether we plan or we didn't plan this. I should have been involved. Maybe I could have advised. I mean, the audacity to say that publicly or on a recording or in a meeting just tells us that people are taking the law into their own hand. They don't respect the rule of law anymore. And this is why I would like to call on Liberians to participate in this October 10th election. This tells me that we need a brand new type of leadership, a new government in our country that at least will begin to put us on the path where people won't feel like I need to bring in 500 men for protection, or people won't be engaging in meetings that they will openly discuss violence and plan how they're going to attack somebody else. This is uncalled for. This is telling us that our country has gone down the drain. We have regressed. And so I think that moving forward, Liberians should rise up again. I always call on you guys to do that, to participate in elections where we can call for a new leadership, not just, again, any type of leadership, someone with a proven track record, someone that will move our country forward, where we'll again begin to be respected, not only in our region, but in the world.
Thank you very much. We are receiving message. We are receiving message from NPP, their leadership. They put out a statement. I would like for us to read them. We will play the rest of the clip. It is important. James, can you put up the statement if you are ready? NPP leadership, the attention of the National Patriotic Party, NPP, has been drawn to the disruption of service on Sunday. James, is it up? Thank you. No, that's that. James, you have the statement. All right. So just, I want us to do this because they are now condemning, and Liberians will need to be very straight. And we also got a statement from the Liberia Council of Churches, who will be putting that up likewise. They are condemning it also. Opposition leaders condemning it. The vice president didn't condemn it. President Weah didn't announce that he condemned it, but Liberia Council of Churches and other opposition leaders are. This is from the NPP. James, are you ready? Thank you very much. That NPP condemned in the strongest term this act of lawlessness by some overzealous members of the party youth wing. That NPP says what it recognizes the right of all Liberians to protest. The action of its youth wing to assemble at the place of worship was a colossal error in judgment and demonstrate a high degree of religious insensitivity. The NPP apologizes to Senator Prince Yedu Johnson and the religious community for the action of its partisans, and they show that it would do everything within its power to prevent the reoccurrence of such act. Meanwhile, the NPP has, with immediate effect, suspended those who bear responsibility for the disruption at Senator Johnson's church. The party says, while it may have fundamental policy and political differences with Senator Johnson, it will not tolerate any act that has the propensity to bring the party to public ridicule. A statement like this will help to calm down nerve. Folks, there you have it. In less than 48 hours, I will go back to Honorable Eugene Lamy Fagon, a statement from NPP condemning and suspending those involved. Just how we just called it here. Fagon, you go ahead and we'll bring in Wa Fadika to comment the rest of the team.
Well, thank you very much. Councillor Bagoy, I don't know your mission here. And I'll be frank with you. To state on national TV and radio that I said, let's tune down the rhetoric here, and Eugene Fagon said no, is to incite people against me. I've worked under those circumstances before, and I've survived it. You will not put my life at risk. Not here, not anywhere. My notes are here. Yesterday, when you said we should tone down the rhetoric, Wozie and I came for you. We asked you whether the information we were giving were rhetoric. Rhetoric is a persuasive speech. And we told you the death of 8 auditors violently killed was not rhetoric. Attacking students at the U.S. Embassy and beating Walter Sisulu was not rhetoric. Attacking students on the campus of the university was not rhetoric. Raiding the Capitol building was not rhetoric. The disappearance of the election magistrate, Alfred Donald, was not rhetoric. We told you a lot. I just want to save time. Tonight, me telling you yesterday again that Prince Johnson had ordered 500 men was not rhetoric. You heard it in the video and audio. Again, me telling you that the armed forces of Liberia massacred citizens from Nimba in the church is not rhetoric. And me telling you that the NPP is an offspring of the NPFL. Therefore, if they go back again to attack a church, it's not rhetoric. I don't know your mission here, my friend, but when your friend called you to a point to say, no, correct yourself, I did not tell you that nobody should tune down the rhetoric. I am a man for myself. I don't work for anybody. I don't work for Stanton. I don't work for Spoon. And my hours here are not paid for. We all sacrifice, like Dr. Francis can say. So to come here and put somebody's life at risk for your political sojourn, and I'm not angry, by the way. I'm used to this kind of life. But don't tell a bold-faced lie on me. Now, let me be clear, and let me repeat. You don't tell people yet to tune down the rhetoric. Because you know what? You're not going to bring 8 auditors back. The trauma that Sisulu suffered, the trauma that university students suffer, what even happened to Prince Johnson, you cannot even compensate for 1%. Rhetoric as defined is a persuasive speech meant for something. We cannot come here to tell you what actually happened and you call it rhetoric. I don't know what direction you want to take the platform, but we don't do rhetoric here. We discuss the issues here. My advice to you, you met us here, you will follow us to discuss these issues as stated, and there will be facts. We're not here for rhetoric. So again, the NPP said, USA, I condemn it. But we have given you audio. We have provided facts. The NPP is connected. The NPP has admitted. The NPP has condemned. That is not rhetoric, my friend. That is not fiction. It is fact. So what do we do and where do we go from here? Is to listen to what the Nimba Council of Elders said. Yes, they referenced the Luchin Church, and I sent the video to my friend and brother, Stanton, and you can hear what they have to say to Mr. President. I don't do rhetoric. I do facts versus fiction.
So let me ask you a question, Fagon, real quick. No, you will not submit. Let me ask you this, and again,
then you got to beg me to talk.
Councillor, again, will come to you. I hope we shouldn't be that personal. We should move on in the direction of having a discussion for the sake of the Liberian people. Fagon, going back to the statement, does that solve the problem now? Emmanuel Lomax said, oh, you're playing poorly. We should have done it another way. Now, NPP coming out with a statement. Then so what? Tell the second
Then
question.
It calms down the nerves. It makes people like us speak a little bit more softly. Had we not been on this platform to ramp up the pressure, to play the tape, to do these things, that would not have happened. The case would have died, true or false. Secondly, now that we can calm down the nerves, What action have they taken? They suspended with immediate effect the perpetrators, correct? Because they do not have their own justice arm. What needs to happen now? Remy Gray will tell you the individuals responsible for that should be arrested, charged, and forwarded to court. That is what needs to happen. And when that happens, we can all move on to the next story for another day.
Alpha Digger. Statement is out, Alpha Digger.
And by the way, it will serve as a deterrent to others.
All right, we'll get back to you. Alpha Digger statement is out. Confirmation has been made. It's NPP youth. Now we're sorry, we suspended. Then what, Fadiga?
Well, they are saying something that we use inductive reasoning to arrive at that conclusion, and they prove it right. When I listened to Madam Taylor, it was clear that she was lying. When I listened to Eugene, it was even clearer that he was lying. We watched the video. We saw all those different evidence. Since yesterday, we saw the Barrett. We saw them very explicit about who they were. So I mean, if it walked like a duck and looked like a duck, it is a duck. So there's nothing. This is clear, open shut. So to see that, for me, I want to have an open mind. They are doing the right thing. If they are sincere, now that it is clear that they have done it. Look, one of the things, we're saying this from the beginning of the show. Look, one of the problems in Liberia is not that we do not have enough laws in the book. We got enough laws in our country. In fact, we just photocopy the American laws and we just brought everything and put it in Liberia. So there is no shortage of policy and laws in place in Liberia. We have it there. The problem here is the implementation. We do not have any deterrent mechanism in Liberia. In America, they say you do the crime, you do the time. And the reason people do it, not because people want to just be bad, but because when they either hurt your pocket or they do something to you, it kind of deter other people that want to commit similar crime or even thinking in that direction. That's the reason why they do it. But in Liberia, the war and economic crime, nobody will ever punish for our civil war. So if any situation presents itself, people will do the same thing. The same thing with this. Time and time and over again, CDC have used this violence and intimidation. We saw it with Akarius Gray, a certain lawmaker will take group of people, go on a university campus after the children told him, say, no, don't come here. This is our campus. Student politics is something that have been condoned and endorsed on our campus from time immemorial. For I don't know how many presidents. He said that he's the man, he grabbed a bunch of talk, they went on the campus, it turned into a violent and a afraid situation. Then they blame the children. We saw it at the embassy. Nothing happened. What became of those guys that brutalized? We saw they naked this young man, naked him, brutalized him. And up to this time, nobody will ever punish. Look, let me tell you something. I think the government is terrorizing its own people. They have a militia group on the ground. I think they qualify to be called a militia group. We can even call them domestic terrorists. The government is harboring domestic terrorists that are terrorizing our people. And until they can find some solution, this thing need to go to the U.S. Embassy, go to ECOWAS. People need to get involved because it is becoming a harassment and terrorism.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fadika. Thank you. Kind of great, though. You see, when you say these things, sometimes you are going back to the puppet issue because you said it right. You find out that President Weah will go to church on Sunday and start blasting from his pulpit. Prince Johnson said, I will reply to Madam Joy Howard Taylor on Sunday. He said it. I will reply to Madam Joy Howard Taylor on Sunday. I'm not justifying what happened, Conor Gray. The NPP just came out with the statement. We are sorry. Suspension. Moving forward, we condemn this act. We shouldn't, and it shouldn't happen. Conor Gray. Should we say then, Prince Johnson, don't bring your 500 men?
Stanton, can I say something to Colonel Gray? Probably will help it. Jua Howard even threatened Yeke. Using the same thing that you are going to go there.
Yeah, well, we'll come to that. I just don't like to. I don't like to mess it up because we are now in the camp of NPP. We want to start showing these text messages. Colonel Gray, have your time, please. Now, can we say that Prince Johnson don't bring your 500 men? Let's pull off.
Before Colonel Gray comes on, I just got a call from the former Assistant Secretary General of the NPP, Josephus Eric Kennedy. He says that statement is not the official NPP statement. He said it should be put out there. It's not the official NPP statement. He said that's a statement that he drafted, and he has suggested that the NPP should issue that statement. So that's not the official NPP position.
So you are saying that he what's his position? Wait.
Former Assistant Secretary General of the NPP, Josephus Eric Kennedy.
Yeah, wait. You see how they got it? Somebody that stepped on them because Spoon just read the statement. The statement, it came from NPP, my brother. If Josephus want to speak, he can speak. Now, that's a problem we are fixing in Liberia. NPP put out the statement. I will not tell you who sent it to me, though, because it's not them. They sent the statement. So let's move for Colonel Gray. First of all, maybe Emmanuel Lomax will say, the recording is not my recording, for God. I didn't say that we planned it too. Listen, speak up, come up and say this thing and let it die down. But talk to us, Gray. What these guys are afraid? What's happening with NPP now?
Well, this is why I say I charged us with the responsibility of being so powerful on what how we say stuff or what we say. It's interesting to see my colleague there jumping to protect his character. But let's not forget I was on the same international platform that I was accused by the same individual of orchestrating the massacre at the Lutheran Church. The fact that you even say a massacre, my
Point of
skin
correction, you were in the army. That's
my
what
friend,
I said.
can I now you are so concerned about your person. You just damaged my character for the rest of my life. With all the yelling you're doing. No laugh. And on the same
I'm
platform,
laughing because I would defend myself to that statement. I stand by it. You are a member of the armed forces and you attack it. You confirm it.
so good at least
Conor Gray, thank you very much. Thank you. Conor Gray, I want to protect you. Speak.
Yeah. So it was on the same platform.
You will speak.
On the same platform that an issue that happened 13 years ago, when I left my family and to go make sacrifices for my family, I almost lost my life. Personal things they took from me, including my bracelet that was worth over $10,000. Some flimsy thin pad. Somebody came in and accused I stole it. And now my character there again is dented for life on the same platform. So I think, yes, we should be careful on how we come at each other, especially with unproven facts. Because when you say something, we have a vulnerable society that will believe what they want to believe and run with it. And that can be a scar on your life forever. I can never repair those damages that have been done to my life by either false accusation or people who just want to get at you because you're in politics. Now, let me go back to this issue of Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson bringing 500 men. When he began to put number to those kinds of event, you are actually inviting. That's an invitation of war, or it's a declaration of war. When you say, "I'll bring 500 men," reasonably, even the president, the commander in chief, does not have 500 men to protect him. He has more than that. Okay, but in his immediate person, he has maybe 2 or 3 trained people that can protect him. The civil service or EPS. So when we make these kinds of statement, the other party is fully aware that you bring in 500 men, whether or not you mean it. And I'm not saying this to blame the senator. But again, the senator has a greater responsibility as senator. If this were a private person, maybe some of us would not be concerned. But this is Senator Prince Y. Johnson. He yields so much authority and power. Yes, what happened to him should never have happened, but now it is his own responsibility as a national hero to mitigate the after effect. What will come after? What he just did, he leveled a challenge that is going to bring 500 men. Who knows? Prince Johnson did not even during his heydays in the war when he was a commander of INPFL that broke away, that peeled away from the NPFL. He did not even have much up to 500 men. 500 men, you understand, is almost a battalion size, half of it. So when you say 500 men, that is a full-scale fighting force. Whether or not they're coming to protect him, that's how the other side will see it. So how is Jefferson Koji going to interpret that statement? So that's how conflict escalates. That's my point here. Leave this pulpit,
So let me
harassment.
interrupt you. Sorry, Gray. So what will be your message now? NPP coming out with that condemnation. We are sorry. Emmanuel Lomai said you didn't plan this thing well. Now, though the VP didn't condemn it, but she said aside with the president, we should respect our election process. Your message to Prince Johnson: don't bring your 500 men.
Don't bring your 500 men. And I think the president and the vice president, they should claim our national attention. Those people should be the look. If Mr. President has been silent all this while, please don't be silent on this issue, because you have a country that is so protective of what happened to them, and they have all right. When you attack the church, in that LBS location, you also sending a signal to them that an entire county is coming under attack. Regardless how you want to look at it, that's the kind of country we have. That's why they're supposed to be managed to
Then
a
why
more.
couldn't she? I really gotta go. Sorry, I really gotta go to Dr. Richardson. But why she couldn't just condemn this thing? Why do you think she held back the condemnation?
Well, maybe it's a spillover from the NPFL MPP fight. Who knows?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Richardson. Man, it's too deep, it's too wide. This is something that we really got to talk about, but it's getting crazy out there, though.
I'm just tired of the words. Every time we come here, we talk about some violence. Then people will come up, government officials will come up and say, "Oh, we condemn, we strongly condemn." It's like saying, thoughts and prayers in America when we have gun violence here. So I'm just tired of it. Somebody said the only way that we can deter this type of violence is to implement the law. It's on the books. What's the problem here? We have videotapes of these guys. I mean, clear. I could see them clear. We have pictures. What is the issue with calling them in? What is the issue with applying the law? It's not like they're hidden figures. We can't find them or they're absconded. So I am just tired. If Madam Jua Howard Taylor wants to implement the code of conduct and carry it out, the agreement that she said that they signed, wanting peace in our country and peace for the election, then let them show action. Okay, I'm tired of the words. And the reason why I'm tired of it is because this has implications for the Liberian people. One is highly traumatizing to see you wake up in the morning and go to a place of safety, which is a church, and have people come and harass you or disturb your church service. All right. And even the people in the neighborhood who were watching these guys march down the street, you get afraid because we know our past, we know our history, and we know that the police will come and that nothing will be done. Secondly, it has national implications, the economy. Who do you think will be watching, a serious investor will be watching these militants walk up and down the streets in the country? Not just this time. We saw the militants at the embassy. We saw them at LU University. Who will be the serious investor who will come to our country to create jobs, to help add to our revenue? I don't see them yet. And this is why our country is stuck. If we do not take this seriously, if we do not apply action to having these men arrested and investigated and let the justice apply to them, the law apply to them, then we're just talking here again. And Liberia government will remain stuck.
So Dr. Rich is saying, thank you very much, folks. I know we're going to play the rest of the clip. It's 6:35. We have to respect Councilor Lamin Bako because he will be leaving the studio. So we're out of here in the next 25 minutes. All right, to give Councilor a chance to go home. Let me do this. James, can you please put up some of the text messages from the chat room? Now, listen, this is very important, though. When they were going back and forth, Honorable Lomax, the analysis on the situation is perfectly in place, and the NPP name should not be in the news for the negative perspective. Our standard bearer, Joa Howard Taylor, name should have been protected by the executioners of this mission. I will pause there, though, Councillor. They're saying this was a mission, poorly planned and poorly implemented. Listen to what is saying in the first text message. This is from the NPP chat room. They say anyone putting on the defense for the action is completely out of order. The NPYC is a noble auxiliary with lots of like-minded young people. The calculation and implementation of the operation was exposed and will be avoided, ridiculing the party by public opinion as it been expressed on independent media outlet. Hope we can do better consultation next time on such critical issue. The first line of this text message, we got bonus of a lot of them, folks. But talk to me, what you are hearing here. James, please put this one down. Bring up the first one, James. Don't put it one up. What you are hearing, listen though, our standard bearer name should have been protected by the executioner of the mission. Councillor.
I mean, these are clear admissions that these people knew what they were up to. And that text message also shows that the vice president 100% knew what happened. Yeah, I mean, those are admissions. And you see, the quiet part is always said out loud when people are not expected to be heard. That message wasn't expected to be made public. So they were spilling their guts. I mean, the rule of law, there's no substitute for the rule of law in a society like Liberia. The society is a broken society. If we continue, our government continue to behave like the way it behaves, when people align to them do something wrong, they do nothing about it. Sooner, what's going to happen is that other people are going to try doing the same thing. That's the reason why you heard Prince Johnson talking about his 500 men. Whether he actually has 500 men or not,
well, exactly.
But what's going to happen is that he talks about 500 men. Those guys, I can bet you, they are mobilizing their own 500 or probably more. Then what happens? Battle lines get drawn. There are other people talking about Lutheran Church massacre. Now they're raising the specter of violence. And that's the reason why we continue saying we should tame down. We should stop, giving rise to these things and trying to make them to appear like they are necessary hard positions to have. If we all have hard positions, it's going to definitely end up in violence. We saw it in 96 with Roosevelt Johnson. We saw it in 98 again with the same Roosevelt Johnson and the massacre that happened on Camp Johnson Road. Because those guys started raising issues, the MPFL people did theirs too. And at the end of the day, the MPFL people had more guns than they had. ECOMOG did not step in and people were killed a lot. We have to make sure we tame this down. We're in a very difficult period presently. We should not be, as Liberians can say, pushing up the fire, right? We should not be doing that. Whether Prince Johnson had 500 people to come and defend him or not, we should tell him to, we should obviously all condemn this thing that happened. We should now start demanding the government and its allies not to only condemn, but to go a step further. Take these people in their own video. The video is clear. The people you can identify on that video, take them in, charge them with criminal trespass. Obviously, they went into the people's church, that criminal trespass. They didn't go there to worship, as the colonel said. Take them in, charge them. By today, these people should have been before a magistrate. A posting bond or if they can postpone, they go to South Beach for trial to start anytime soon. But that's the logical first step. The logical next step is for the government to take people into custody to show that.
Let me ask one question.
I beg you, you ask that question real quick, Councillor. The government have not spoken. The government, not an individual. They have not spoken. What say you? Up to now, almost 48 hours, they have not spoken.
Yeah, so it shows the level of seriousness that they're taking this thing at. The county attorney for Montserrat County, the CSD of the Liberia National Police, especially the CSD of the Liberia National Police should have acted by now. They should have had that video. They should have called in those people, those MPP people, whoever they are, should have called them in. They should have started investigating them. And by today, they should have charged them to court. There's absolutely no reason why those people did not appear in court today to answer charges at the minimum of criminal trespass.
Thank you very much, guys. Go ahead with your question, Hussein.
Here's my problem. We have a government that seems to be condoning these acts. It is clear that some hands in the government are behind this thing. The president himself said that we should get CCTV to protect ourselves. In a country where there is no law and order, we see police have turned into partisans, where our law clearly states that you cannot get involved in your civil service, you cannot be involved in any political activity. It clearly states in our code of conduct. People are feeling insecure. How else do you think people can protect themselves? As an ordinary citizen, or because this is that Prince Johnson. I'm hearing this from other lawmakers and other people that feel threatened. They are beefing up security. They are either, because they are not allowed to bear arms, they are surrounding themselves with more people so that as to protect themselves. Because you could be, look, you remember when they were using petrol bomb in Liberia? When they started to use petrol bomb? This could be a case of the petrol bomb. How do you protect yourself in a country that the government refuses to provide you security? How else can you protect yourself? By surrounding yourself with your tribe people, by surrounding yourself with your people. And this is where the country, everything becoming a faction. Who else can protect Prince Johnson? I think 500 unarmed men is best than having armed men coming to you. How else can he protect himself?
Thank you very much.
You cannot allow the balkanization of this society. We cannot allow the balkanization of this society.
Thank you very much, Councillor.
Perform its constitutional and statutory duties, but we cannot afford to balkanize the society because the moment
I will agree with you, but we press on time. I will agree with you. We shouldn't. You cannot say wrong will correct another wrong. Violence shouldn't beget another violence. I totally agree with you. I'm not in the past say, attack somebody because of this kind of thing. They try to calm the storm and they try to work together as Liberian. We are pressed on time. I want to keep going for last. Dr. Richardson, let me go back to this message. We have a lot of different text messages coming up. The people of Nema, so we are citizens of Nema from the NPP coalition is kind of asking for immediate action against these guys. Thanks. This message was cut. I want to read the whole thing. Then Dr. Richardson will get you in. Let's talk about this one real quick. Get all of you, man. Thank you, James. Get all of you, man. Who runs a political party? It is not the SG. You have not made any sense in the last 24 hours. You and all got this party in mess today. These are from the chat room. What is wrong? What is the wrong committed by NPYC? Now, you have folks, and we took away their phone number because we don't want any trouble. Dr. Richardson, you have folks hitting each other right now, right? Somebody said they were right. The other group saying, no, you didn't protect the standard bearer. You are wrong. Now, this is why they say disrupting the church service to bring the party to public ridicule is damn wrong. Just listen to the audio, Honorable Max. You have said it all. Thanks. Yes, indeed. You say it all. This is not the time for such. The VP and the NPP leader need to release a strong statement against such. Everyone or everybody will not love or like the VP. This is 2023. It is so sad. We get the rest of them will play. But again, from their chat room, we have people who favor this nonsense that took place. And you have people who actually They are totally against it. That's what you say. You are into the chat room, you listen to the various text messages and they're concerned.
Yeah, like I said, and I think people are agreeing with me that this action was only condemned by words and not by implementing the law. So again, a side effect of not implementing the law is selective justice. People are now saying, oh, it's okay that certain groups can, be okay with breaking the law, and certain groups will get some form of law applied to them. And we don't need that for our country. So you can see this is what's happening in the chat room. Nobody's sure whether this was a wrongful act. When we do know that it was a wrongful act, it was against the law, And so again, we back to square number one, where people can do backdoor condemnation. We heard Prince Johnson tell us that the president called him to tell him, I don't know, he was disappointed in what happened. That's not the right avenue.
No, the president called him to tell him, say, I didn't send them.
Okay,
he didn't condemn it, but he said, I didn't send them.
Okay, yeah. So what is that supposed to do? If you're president for the nation, you're supposed to be speaking on behalf of the nation. Calling Prince Johnson is a good gesture, but that is not a way to make our country a safe place, a way to decrease psychological problems for our people, or a way to deter law. Calling Prince Johnson, how does that help anything? So, again, action needs to be taken.
We will be going to the phone line. Honorable Fagon. These text messages, they are horrible. We're going to share them. They are horrible. The reason why I'm going to share them, I'm asking James to share them on our page. I'm sorry, guys. I remove your number, but I've got to share them. I'm not exposing you, but it is scary, Honorable Fagon. Let's read this one, and you can come in, Fagon. This topic will pass, and we will get back to work in unison as an unbreakable team, because our vision in revamping our party has been actualized, and we are now moving towards ensuring a resounding victory for 2023 and setting the precedent for 2029. Apologize, mother, for what happened out there, but trust me, from what is happening in our chat room, you got us all on board. Amanda, to you and the entire NPP. Eugene Lamin Fagon. These are the text messages.
Yeah, before I do the text message, it's important I take 30 seconds to tell the Liberian people the fact. I have earned my stripes. I've earned a reputation for being very factual, not only speaking it, but providing evidence to back what I said. And yes, many Liberians cry out to me. I even sent some of the messages to Stanton, that why do you allow Gray to do this to you all the time? I am a counterpuncher. But what I said to you, I stand by it, that you were a senior and high-ranking member of the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia that carried out a massacre at the Lutheran Church. You admitted that you were in the armed forces, but on the night of the massacre, crowned soldiers of the armed forces put you into post-stockade. How does that take you out of the armed forces? How? The fact that your colleagues jail you, or your compatriots, or your fellow soldiers jail you, if that is true, on the night of the massacre.
Stanton, let me step in. Eugene, no. I don't think these are necessary.
You guys want to puncture somebody's reputation. When they begin to answer, then you start saying no.
Is there something we can discuss in the back, Fagon?
Hold on one minute. Guys, hold on 1 minute. Guys, hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute, guys. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on. So, we are on conversation on the topic. We will have this discussion in the back. We will have this meeting in the back.
Let me just make it.
I beg you, Remy Gray, please.
I was not a senior officer.
Remy, let me finish. Remy,
I was
let
not
me
a senior
finish.
officer.
Remy, let me finish.
Okay, let's say you were Sergeant.
No, Fagon, let me finish. I beg you guys.
That
Let me
take you
finish.
for in the air.
Fagon, let me finish. Let me finish. I beg you. We have to remain in control. I beg you guys. We almost done with the program. We get 10 more minutes. Remy, Fagon, Fadika, Councillor Paco, Dr. Chinwe, we will all have this conversation. We will not spill milk. Let's move, guys. Let's move, please.
But Santa, it's important that we have this conversation outside here, because you know what? We have something that goes out of the world.
So hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute.
It's very important.
Okay, Iremi.
This is more important to me.
Okay,
so a meeting will be called, Remy. A meeting will be called.
The men want us to talk, so why we can't talk?
We will not talk, Fagon. We will talk in the back. Iremi, let me say this to you. It is true that your name and your reputation have gone so far. But let's have the conversation in the back, please. Okay? And I myself, on my way home from work, I will call you guys, including Councillor Paco. I will apologize to you. I will hope that you understand, Fagon, for us to move on. I apologize to you, Fagon.
So why you allow Gray to speak without interruption? Why I can't answer without interruption? I just want to know.
You want to know, you will give me a chance to tell you we will have the conversation in the back, Fagon.
Okay.
We have to move on. Let's talk about the text
that conversation in the back, right?
Yes.
But the one he had in the front, let me answer to it in the front.
No, everything will be.
Why are you shaking your head? No.
Everything will be in the back, Fagon.
This is about my reputation. When I come out and get information, it is factual.
Yes, Fagon.
I don't lie on people.
Fagon. So we will move ahead. We will not attack each other at this time. So we will move ahead to the text. We will move ahead to the text messages, and I appreciate you guys' sense of restraint because our people want us to talk about the issue. So the text messages to you, Fagon. These guys, then back into the chat room, they are going crazy. Talk to us.
So why we can't tell that one in the back?
It doesn't wait. Why we tell it put text message in the back, man?
Why we can't tell that one in the back? Look, let me say concerning the text messages, concerning the MPP stuff, I don't understand why you guys wasting time. The people have admitted, the facts are there. It can be clear as daylight. Why are you guys wasting time? Here is what I have to say. Mr. President, instead of calling Prince Johnson on the day, minutes after it happened, he should have called his police chief. They should have had those people arrested. He should have called to protect Prince Johnson. And then assure Prince Johnson that not only has the situation been brought under control, but several arrests had been made and that they will be prosecuted for their actions. On top of that, we should have seen and heard immediate condemnation from the Council of Churches, the Interreligious Council, and the Vice President, who happens to be the leader of the NPP. We should have also seen the media gone ballistic. But I am tempted to say that had it not been for Spoon, immediately, minutes after this thing happened, had it not been for Spoon, where would we be now? Where would we be? So again, people say tune down the rhetoric. Yeah, right. They killed John Tubman. They killed Richard Talbot. They killed Bateniswa, Gifty Lamanem. Those are hard facts. I would like to tune down the rhetoric. But I am not preaching rhetoric. I'm preaching facts. Someone say, should Prince Johnson tell the 500 men to stay? I say no. Bring the 500 men to town until you can see the honesty and the willingness on the part of the government to get those people arrested and taken into custody and prosecuted. As it stands right now, the very people are outside. Are they not? Have they been arrested? No. So why should Prince Johnson not bring people to protect him? You see what we're saying? It's not rhetoric. It is a fact. So let the government arrest those people, and then Prince Johnson can tell them, say, hey, the people who came to disturb me, come and Ghana, y'all go back. But for now, I will say to Prince Johnson, thank you for exercising restraint. The first law of preservation, you have to protect yourself, bring in your men, protect yourself against a tyrannical regime.
Thank you, Figon. Folks, we have to go to the phone line. I appreciate you, Aaron Gray, for listening to Dr. Richards and myself, Figon, that you guys can have some restraint as we did have a full discussion in the back. Councilor Lamine Bakov, we want to say thank you. Fadiga, thanks for jumping in. You and Dr. Richardson. This is what we do on Spoon. We will have to move in the direction that we give the people the information, and the people have to receive this information. A lot of stuff is happening in the country. I'm disappointed, though. I'm disappointed that now the religious leader put out a statement. I don't know if you have it down, Mother James. If you have it, you can post it. The Liberal Council of Churches put out a statement. We must read the statement because this is about the church. Do you have it? Good day. Then we go to the phone line. Thank you. Our beloved mother and political leader, the scenario unfolding in our chat room is no different than two children at home trying to desperately show their personal love to their mother whom. Oh, is this a statement from the Liberal Council of Churches? All right, you know it's James. When James gets a statement ready, we're gonna read it. Take us to the phone line, Conor Gray, please. What you have seen, you called in Prince Johnson to quietly stop his men from coming to town, but Prince Johnson said his men would be part of the church service on Sunday. Councillor said it right. Other people themselves will be preparing the 500 men too. Now we are going into a hostile terrain, a terrain that we don't want to see, especially this election. Political party will be gearing up to prepare their own men because this thing, anybody can walk in your home, walk in your church, walk in your office, and cause problem. What say you? Should Prince Johnson listen to Conor Gray? Don't bring your 500 men.
My brother, Prince Johnson, in my opinion, is fully protected than any of the editors that got killed. Is fully protected than you and I. He has a wealth of individuals around him who are protecting him, including his own personal security. Like I said earlier, these are insightful statements. When you put figure onto um, moving people, that's an act of declaring war, and that is where my fear comes in. And I subscribe to Councillor Quagoy that we should tone down the rhetorics. That is one of the most dangerous rhetorics that can incite violence. Of course, the senior senator, his life is more important. I agree.
Yeah.
But remember, there are 5 million people whose life could be at risk more by simple statements we make. We have to be extremely measured in what we say. We have to be responsible. In this case, I think all sides have not exercised that maturity. When you're in leadership at that level, you be careful what you say. Lots of people are listening. Maybe those 500 men will be even more because there are lots of people who admire
They got nothing to do. They would jump in. You are quite correct. They got nothing to do in that.
I'm telling you, lots of hooligans are around. I mean, let's face it. That's some people thrive well in violence. When they see that kind of stuff happening, yeah, I must be there. You know,
No
and that's
job.
not it.
No work, nothing to do. People chilling. They would jump the crowd. You are right, Corner Gray. Thank you. Can we take about 10 questions? We are getting from our chat room, the NPP chat room. They are now saying, if James put it up while you get ready to go to the phone line, they say, oh my God, who put out the statement? This press statement isn't in place yet. We have not resolved it. This was not what Chairman Moba, Visha, God, Spoon Talk Bao, but it is not read on Spoon Talk. Spoon Talk is reading the statement. You have no right. You are not authorized. You shouldn't have. Who they talking to? Dama, how you got a people press statement? They're saying that you shouldn't. Oh, my people. You in a poor chat room, Dama? Let's go to the phone line.
You. I ain't no chat room.
Let's go to the phone line. You gave me MPP headache.
077771075 055101075. Those are the local numbers to call and be live on Spoon Talk. You have to go straight to the point with your opinion, comment, or question. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Evening to you, sir. Let's hear you out.
This is Rick International. I'm calling you from Barclay.
Go ahead, sir.
I was speaking to you on the victims of the Lush massacre in 1990. My father was killed. My cousin was killed. And my son was killed. So, the group that went to the Captain Johnson reflect your minds on what happened in 1990. We want peace in this country. We don't want violence. So if the people want to escalate, they want bring problems, we'll be willing. We'll be willing to tell them that they never experienced the war in 1990. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your point. 077771075 055101075. Hello. Hello. Okay, we lost that person there. All right. Hello.
Good evening to the Spoon family.
Good evening to you, sir. Please be a bit audible so that we can all hear you clearly, please.
Yeah, Damo, good evening. My name is Michael Williams, and I join you from Painesville tonight.
Go ahead.
You see, this is the thing we've been saying in Tampa, my brother. Something is smelling. Something is smelling because from the intention of this government, CDC or President reacting to power, everything that they do is all violent. Uses violence to intimidate our people, they suppress our people. Like you see in Tampa, when Taylor Ewing, District 15, the issue of Taylor Ewing, nothing came out of it. The issue of the U.S. Embassy there to the student, nothing came out of it. The issue of the get all over there with the ANC, Bureau, and the Democrats being drove out of Grand, nothing came out of it. There are a lot of violence has been taking place in this government, and they will always say, we launch an investigation. Sometimes the president, you hear it from his very self, when you go to the church, we launch an investigation and nothing out of present.
Okay.
I mean, all the things I'm all before on the land, like the very get to me is the issue of something happening. You will get people condemn. What condemn will do to solve the problem? You condemn it since 2019, 2023. You keep condemning, and nothing can come out of it.
All right, sir.
My brother, when we continue to go this route, the election will be better.
Thank you.
We cannot stop the sound of war, especially for the ruling party. You are not really in power. You are ruling. When you keep doing this thing, we will fall into another thing.
All right, sir. Thank you. I have to let you go right there because we have to take other callers. Thank you for putting your points through. Hello.
Yes. Hello. Let me say good evening to the Spoon family, and let me say also good evening to the people of the Republic of Liberia. This is Chuti Jerome. I love the topic this evening. Brother, let me tell you people, you guys are in the diaspora. When you guys are discussing our issue in this country, sometimes we feel fine and we feel happy, honestly. We are suffering in this country, but the guys don't know. honestly. Let's be realistic with one another. The thing that's going on in the Republic of Liberia is very, very bad. Let's be realistic. My senior brother is over there in Yermi, Honorable Facon. Facon is my biggest brother. He's my senior also. What happened to Gonson, my brother? I was right at the road. It was very, very unprecedented. It was not fun. It was not fun. When you look at it, and anybody watch that thing on YouTube, on Facebook, they will say, but what happened with Liberia, or the Christian nation, a nation that was built on the Christian principle? What is happening with the country? You know, I think every Liberian, let us get at the ballon bar to see what we can do.
Okay.
Let us take the guy from the race.
Thank you.
Let's make this force. We don't want him.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to hold you right there and take other callers on the line. 777 1075 0555 101075. Hello.
How are you? Hello?
Yes, sir. You live. Let's hear you out. Your name and where you're joining us from.
Thank you. My name is Ludo Sage Jion. And I speak to you from district number 6, most of the country.
Go ahead.
You know, Eastern when the thing happening, we will always say we condemn the act. We condemn the act, but there's no action. Let me say this before I tell the line. We don't want for the cat to eat a fish. Let your tail not to smell. If we don't want one in the country, let Joseph preview. Lord, they can't will be paid fire. Think that person in the country, you should be a rather or the head should go in jail. We don't want no problem.
Okay.
No, I won't tell you what we're going to do. Let the government play straight for all the situation. The one that fought in Liberia, let those who born 2001, 2006, let them go to see how work can be when working in the country, how it can be looking. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you there. Hello. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Kindly reduce the volume of your radio. We're getting feedback from you.
And better?
Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Robert Nopako, and I'm calling from District 17.
Sir, you're not audible enough. We're not really hearing you clearly.
District 17, you getting me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Robert Nopako, my name. Thank you. People, they are guys that happening. Really, they didn't know what happened from 1989 to 1990. They didn't see it, they didn't know it earlier. And people are just reading to them. If one of them were to see what happened to some of us as we speak, they will never try to do those things. But we are listening to what I say, both sides did not, let's say, exercise authority. I disagree with him. It's President Johnson that I know when he was praying why Johnson in 1990. I think look, I was down over there, it would have been a different thing, which of course we don't pray for. But I say to him, Senator, thank you very much for being patient enough to bring it up. And he said he's going to bring 500 men. People taking it for a joke. I mean, you want to try, you shouldn't bring 500 men here. We are saying to the government, come on and do something. Let's say sorry to the guy and let's condemn the guy in the very strong thing so that they will not let such a thing carry them. We don't know him like that. We stand with him. And thank you for bringing it up for us. And we are listening to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Damon. Let's bring in James for James to take some international calls because we have to go. Thank you very much, Damas. And thanks to our callers from Liberia. James, if you are ready, James.
The number to call is.
You put the number up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you? Welcome. Your name and where you joining us from?
Thank you, James. My name is Michael Chipperson, and I call you from Minneapolis.
I can make a point.
I call to give a hard position. And if for any reason Senator Johnson is listening to me, I want to encourage him to take 500 people to protect him and his church. The only language CDC understand is violence. And there is a popular saying that the very tissue you can use, if it has pepper on it, you're not going to use it after using the battery chair.
Okay.
CDC has demonstrated, we all have seen, like the Carter said, that these people have been treading on the path of violence, provocation, and every time we condemn, nothing happens. The leadership of the country should be cognizant that they are under obligation to protect the citizens and to ensure that we are peaceful. But this leadership have done nothing. What is the internal investigation report when that situation happened at the embassy? CDC said those people were not part of them. That was the statement.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Today they are outside. So Senator Johnson, carry the 500 men with the new pledge movement. Let them protect.
All right, thank you. Let me get another caller. Hello.
Yes.
Your name and where you calling from?
How are you?
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Val, and I'm calling from Ottawa, Canada.
1 minute.
And, I wanted to speak specifically to the president's call to Prince Johnson after the situation. Quite frankly, it speaks to the president's ineptitude. The first thing the president should do is to call his secretary, like Stanton said, call the police chief, call your chief justice, maybe issue a press conference. That's the first thing you should do. And then condemn the incident, and then and what have you. But to call Prince Johnson and telling Prince Johnson, look, I'm not in that team. I'm part of that team. I just want to tell you that I'm not part of it. What do you mean by you're not part of it when you're the president of the Republic of Liberia? How can you say you're not part of it? How can you say that? That's so irresponsible as a president to come up and say that. So irresponsible. You should call your police chief, call your security chief, issue a press conference. Prince Johnson is not an ordinary person in Liberia.
All right, chief.
So irresponsible.
All right, thank you. Yeah, 1 minute over. Hello.
James,
Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Michael Moba. James, what I want to say is that the vice president bear a lot of responsibility for what happened. Since she was in the position when George, the president, left the country and traveled for that long time, she had an opportunity to step in during the censor. She grew some wings. She acted like a rebel leader during that Capitol building visit on last week. So she is to be held responsible for most of what happened on Sunday at Prince Johnson Church. That was wrong.
All right, sir.
When things happen and it's wrong, let us say it's wrong.
That's the last call, James. Thank you very much. We want to say thanks to the international callers. Let's do our closing, James. We appreciate you. Folks, go ahead.
I had it put on the line.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Hello.
Yeah, James, good afternoon, and thanks to our panelists.
Your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Pennsylvania, and I'm Thomas Kerr.
Go ahead.
The incident that occurred yesterday, it was very, very, very dangerous, and I really commend Prince Johnson, the General Prince Johnson, for exhibiting his best attitude ever. Because from my understanding, even when the guys were there were even men that were coming from the opposite direction, to come and attack them. Prince Johnson was even able to put a stop to it. He even told them, say, just forget it. I don't want this to be like, this is all about Prince Johnson. But what really scares me there is when Prince Johnson mentioned in his press statement that the police were right at the ELW George Hill, and while those guys were there. And even we saw when the guys were leaving, and the police didn't even come to them to say, gentlemen, what you guys doing, or you guys have to leave. They didn't say anything. The guy came in from the LBS. They had another press briefing there again. And that's scary.
All right.
Our police,
Thank you.
Thank you very much, folks. We want to say we appreciate every one of you. Join us again tomorrow. We have in studio all the wonderful panelists who will be discussing the issue. And I believe that we have a surprise guest for you tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. We want to say thank you very much for being part of this program. This is the Spoon Talk. To Councillor Lamin, we say Lamin Bako, thank you very much. Your contribution is needed at the most when you bring in those legal mind ideas to the discussion. Remy, great. We appreciate you. Hussein, wife Adika, Dr. Richardson, Eugene Lamin Fagon, and the rest of the team that are missing today. We will be having this discussion regularly. As you know, Sandra Daniel will be chipping in. Mo Ali also will be contributing. You are all welcome to be part of Spoon Talk to discuss the Liberian issue. This is the Liberian Network. This is for the Liberian people, and we encourage you, Liberians, to be part of the program. Trust me, when I hear it, you will hear it. When I see it, you will see it. They can get vexed, they can get mad. That's their business. I have no political wings to fly. I have no political party. Once I hear it, and you need to hear it, we'll discuss it and bring it to your attention. Liberia deserves better, whether you're opposition or in position. It's time to treat our fellow Liberians with respect and give them the utmost respect for this network and for our country to grow. We say thank you. Let's do our closing. Counselor, since you're in studio, you go ahead first, sir.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the show again today. And I think I will close by saying that we need to pressure the government to take those people into custody and make an example of them. I think that would be one of the easiest way for us to also help to reduce the temperature. And we should talk to the people on the other side. Senator Johnson and his people. There is really no need to bring 500 people in his town to come and quote unquote protect you. We need to demand the people who we elected as our leaders. They have constitutional and statutory responsibilities. We should not help them to renege from their responsibilities. We need to demand that they perform their constitutional rules and the statutory rules. By helping them, we help them to renege. We say we will take on our own security. We have to demand that they do the right thing. We have to demand that they arrest those people who they can identify, and we have to demand that they bring them to court. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. Remy?
Well, what I'm seeing clearly is it's a divorce gone messy. These are individuals who were all yoked together, and they're going apart. Normally divorces are not something that anybody will wish upon themselves. They can be messy, and one would hope that we don't go, escalating our old conflict, bringing back old ones up that will be beyond our control. One, we have more people in the country than ever before. And then secondly, if anything happened, Liberia is already destituted to the point where there's nothing. So imagine even prosecuting a war for one day, lots of people will lose almost everything. So that is what people should consider as very, very, very important before even trying to throw jive at others. Yes, um, people were wrong for going on that church campus, but I also believe that um, as long as the senator continues to exist, only God can take his life. Nobody else can do that. And we don't want anybody grouping together to go into premises where people are worshiping their God and to wreak mayhem. I don't think it's okay. It's unprecedented. And yes, the law must step in. Like I said, if Mr. Weir has never spoken before, this is one moment he may want to say something. Mr. President is excuse, and the excuse is just not enough. You can't just come and say it's not me. Anything that happened within the republic, you are the chief investigator. You bear the responsibility of everything that happens. So this one that happened yesterday, some of us thank goodness that there was no no harm done to anybody, and I'm pretty sure God did it for a purpose. This is another church, and it brings so much back from the past. Some of us lost people in a church massacre, and those sore they still remain in our hearts. So we're praying that Mr. Johnson uses his own reverence to bring peace and solitude to this matter. I mean, bringing in people should be the last alternative for me. As a man of God, probably it's about time that he begins to look for, God's divine power to take care of this situation. And I will ask that he measures down so the situation don't escalate any further. Our country is in destitution, please. I think I would just, appeal to everybody on all sides to exercise restraint. Look, this power thing can only revert to one person. Who is ever there, that's his responsibility or responsibility to protect the state. They should be the last people to begin to throw invectives or, punches at other people who are not in the driver's seat. President Weah, it's your responsibility to protect our country. Thank you.
I wish you luck, Remy. How many years now? It will be 6 years in the next 4 5 months or so, 6 7 months. But the president will not say a damn thing, and you know that he will speak. So I wish you luck, and I bet you I'll take you to the first football game if the president speak. You can count on that. The first Minnesota game, if the president speak, it will be on me. Okay, but let's move on. Fadika.
We saw what happened. This reminds me of what happened in June 6th in the U.S. Police people were prosecuted. Anybody that had hand to play in that June 6th were prosecuted. Nobody was spared. And that is what happened. Look, there's a reason why we don't have mob justice in America. You have people that will do mass shooting, but nobody will run after them to kill them. There's a reason why people not going around shooting butler. Well, some people do it in some states with God, but nobody going around to beat people in the street. The reason we are seeing mob justice and people taking the law in their hand and people trying to get 500 men, some people getting 600, some people get 20 dogs in the yard, some people get security guard plus 20 dogs in the yard, is because there is no one community police. The people do not trust the police. The police are turned into partisan police. And Patrick Serdu has proven to be inept. He keep blundering. I don't know why they keep him there, but I mean, it is what it is. George Weah has chosen to run a kakistocracy, and we just have to live by it and get him out by October, or else we have to live by it for another 6 years. Because what happened at that church should have never happened. It was orchestrated by powerful hands, and it clearly showed from what was said in the chat room. We already knew it. Can you imagine? If that was in America, Joel Howard Taylor would be losing her job today for something of that magnitude. If that had happened in America, you cannot be the same. Whether you knew about it or you didn't know about it, she would probably resign. Because look what happened. This thing did not just happen out of the blue. It was planned. And Emmanuel Lomax is saying, I wish we had planned it better. So what if it was planned better? Imagine what would have happened. Look, we're talking about, Prince Johnson, like him or hate him, Liberia is a very tribal country. Everybody protect their own. The Baza people protect the guy. Prince Johnson, the Nimadians protect him. And what this president is doing is he is setting the country up for another serious chaos in that country. Because God forbid, maybe something that happened to Prince Johnson, will not be talking this thing. It will be taking a different turn. Because I know that the Nimadians will not allow to come. Pretty soon will be Nima versus Crew versus Soft East. You see, it has so many moving parts. Are we advocating for it? No. But the president needs to lead and lead by example. Where is the ECOWAS? Where is the United States Embassy? These people only come after there is breakdown, law and order, and everything degenerate into chaos. Then they send the people to pay them. Because right now, everybody's seeing it. Oh, we saw people dying in our country that nothing happened. Every day you keep beating people, nothing happened. The many poor people, what you call counter-protest. Counter-protest is a way to bring chaos. Where in the world we have seen counter-protest? All we have seen is the government giving the army troop to come and beat people off the street. But because they do not want to be here responsible, they open corridor, arm the people with stick and machetes to go and brutalize people. Then they say, you know what? There's something in the law, I think, let me call it afraid. When there's a fighting in the club and everybody fighting, everybody takes small responsibility. So just so they can say that, oh, you contribute, not forgetting about who actually was the perpetrator and bear the greater responsibility. So they try to create an afraid situation. So they put other people that look like civilians out to go and fight the other people and say, oh yeah, that's what happened on the LU campus. So there is this consistent pattern. As we get close to election, I mean, we are praying told that we do not have election violence, but the stage has been set for this. And if nothing is done, that will just happen. There will be continual violence and will continue to spill over after the election. And hopefully we have people to handle it because something needs to be done. ECOWAS, if you are listening, need to come. United Nations, this is the time to come.
Thank you very much, Fatika. Dr. Richardson?
Well, it's a good show. Really quiet for the most part, which is how I like it to be. Father God, be careful comparing Liberian politics with American politics before you get accused of not knowing Liberian politics, okay? But anyway, I have a few points to make. One is I condemn all acts of violence, including the root cause of the violence that we saw at Senator Johnson's church. We know that there's a root cause of this violence that occurred. So I condemn that. I would want to say that I would encourage Prince Johnson to not bring in 500 men to protect him. I beg him to practice restraint at this moment, simply for the sake of Liberia. I don't want the situation to be reflamed. As we can say, two wrongs do not make right. And he rightly said he's a older statesman now in our country. He's 70 years old. He mentioned at his press conference and that he is moving to a different level now. I'm looking forward to the government implementing the laws that will capture the perpetrator of this violence and let them, be punished. This is the only way things will stop in our country, because we know that violence impacts Liberians. It promotes anxiety, it promotes fears, sleepless nights. It causes drug use that we're talking about right now. When some people get afraid, when they see, violence in the city, they get afraid and they just, become numb and use drugs. This is a way of escape. Lastly, for the sake of our country, it also, as I said before, it makes investors very afraid to come to the country. Who's going to come to a country, that people are talking about counter protests every day? Even in the United States, when we have, protests here, Black Lives Matter protests, people get afraid to go to that particular city. In fact, there's a warning sign that is issued, and there's a warning sign even been issued to prevent people from going to Florida just because of racism. Just imagine that, how our economy is being impacted simply because people are counter protesting and the government seem to be triggering these issues. We need a new government. It is obvious. We've come here too many times to speak about the ills in this government, the incompetency, the inability to sustain, practice and policies of the Constitution, or even to implement them, to put them into action. They don't have that ability to do that. So, as I often ask Liberians, October 10th is your day to make a big, huge decision, the decision to move our country forward, a decision that will lead us to having a more deserving Liberia. I can tell you that we come here every day, and one caller said that he appreciated us coming here every day to speak about Liberia, considering that many of us here are in the diaspora. We don't do this because we're comfortable, just sitting here. When anything happens in Liberia, it impacts us. We are the one who get the 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock calls asking for, help. And we have family members back home. You can't just turn a blind eye. And if you don't know anything about trauma, we are vicariously traumatized. When we see people counter protesting, rebel rising in the street, we are vicariously traumatized. We worry about our family members back home. So I would hate, somebody said, oh, we just sit in America and we're not bothered. If anything happens in Liberia, we don't feel the pinch. Yes, we do. Some of us didn't see our parents being buried in the country. Some of us have relative graves in Liberia that we couldn't go to because of the violence in Liberia. So I just want to state that in order for us to move forward, we need new leadership. We need to have a more deserving Liberia, in the words of Mr. Alexander Cummings. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Folks, we want to say thanks. I appreciate you consider, again, as I said, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we'll have Mo Ali, we'll have Daniel Sando, we have the rest of the team that we all can sit and discuss politics from another angle. This is very discouraging. I sent James something for him to put up. No, James, not this one. You should have it. Okay, this is it. So I want to close on this. This is on Facebook. One of CDC, Imagine a Sedition, wrote this. You can find it. She was appointed to opposition, but she wrote exactly what she felt within her mind. She said, our beloved mother and political leader, the scenario unfolding in our chat room is no different than two children, blah, blah. I believe these arguments only demonstrate, James, this is not it. This is not what I say you. Oh, brother James. I'm going to read it from my phone. Thank you, James. I think this is it. All right. Secondly, Liberia don't give a damn about. So, James, you got to send the whole thing, put the whole thing up. But I will read from what you sent me. Infrastructure, their happiness become. Somebody please help me with James today. I'm just Dr. Richardson, Fadiga. My freaking killing me to do. We're making put under why he won't put up. So, I have business, James. She said, thinking about the future of Liberia in 2017, Sedition knew it was their time. We came outside and voted massively, but we didn't reach the percentage to make we are president. I can safely say some opposition joined us during the second round. That is correct. If they hadn't taken side with JMB, we were going to be defeated. After our numerous defeat, losing Moserado and other bad election, I still have the belief that if George Manuel gets on the ballot box, the result will be different. She believed that President Weah could have worked magic. But you remember the defeat they don't give them twice. And she continued, but from my assessment, nothing will change, especially if we continue in this manner. Secondly, Liberians don't give a damn about infrastructure. Their happiness comes from what they have in their pocket. I am not saying it's wrong to change the perception, but in doing so, you need to have an equation. Their food, money, along with the development must be simultaneous. This is how our downfall started. We came to power and within no time, we started living flamboyantly. When the opposition raised the red flag, our response was unearned. And you did the same thing. This is our time. They are aware of that fact, that they were corrupt and did the same. But they expected us to be different. They saw us as the downtrodden. We started going contrary to what we advocated for. I guess it became a shock to those few opposition that joined us during the second round. Therefore, they decided to go back to their roots. I guess they said we thought these people were going to be humble, but they would even be worse than us. Then we came up with the harmonization while living largely. That's the worst provocation. But the economy stays the same, no improvement. Prices of commodities even escalated. Instead of us empowering our private sector, so we will be able to accommodate our partisans, we decided to force them with the various ministries. The payroll got overcrowded. How can we forget that the majority of those that supported the CDC are uneducated? And we didn't bring our factory, our company to help empower them. They are hungry. People are making a mockery of them, but we expect them to go and vote because we build roads and hospital parks, etc. We have lost a lot of partisans. When you see those handful of sedition on Facebook running around, you people think you have the numbers. You go in the ministries and communities and find out. When our old man stand in front of a camera and say, I am voting for Wia, you run with it like a cock-necked chicken. You people have decided to live in denial. That's good for you. But I will tell you that this election will be a very tough one. I stood with George Manuel Weah. I stood alone. I have played my part as a patriotic partisan and citizen. I leave the rest to God. Let me say this. This is a sedition. This is a sedition. Remy Fadika, somebody that is so frustrated. And she said it 100%. CDC received this message. They are not happy. They are mad like hell. But she's saying the truth. Liberia deserves better. What have President George Manuel Weah given you? What can you point to? 6 years going into six years. Your life is in reverse, not even in neutral, not moving forward, but in reverse. It's bad for our country. Poor leadership. Because you can take money and get a few journalists and other people out there that will come and use all the big wars. Our mothers going to bed hungry. Our children going to bed hungry. They are dying every day. The vice president decided to send her people to attack Prince Johnson. The allegation is out there. She refused to comment. She refused to comment on it. She said, I stand with the president. The president called Prince Johnson. He didn't condemn it. He would never speak to it. Our country is in a serious place right now. Folks, listen and listen well. We can disagree on the show, but we shouldn't disagree with Liberia. We should disagree in our community, but we shouldn't disagree with Liberia because Liberia deserves better. The people deserve better. Go to the communities, go in the schools, the marketplaces, the hospitals, and look at yourself, look at your living condition, and tell us, is your life better? Is that what you settle for? Guys, it's horrible out there. Let's turn this thing around. You have given George Manuel Weah a lot of time. You have given all his agents a lot of time. They enter the CPP, they destroy the CPP. They enter a political party and say they are opposition, but they are spy for CDC. They were sent by Samuel Tway. They were sent by the president. We know that. They continue to work. Opposition, but yet and still they are working because they are in position. Wake up. Understand yourself. So in case you vote to give CDC another 6 years, trust me, your life will be even worse. Building a playground, is that the development the president will celebrate? and folks around the president should celebrate because he built a playground? Are we that low that it's okay for you to build a playground and you celebrate and say, yeah, that's a development? Come on, man. When rain season comes, that place will be like a swimming pool. Don't do that. Build yourself in the education system. Build university. Build yourself in better and perfect infrastructure, good roads. Help with our healthcare system. People should be coming from Sierra Leone, Ghana, to come to hospital in Liberia. They should be traveling to the country to get better education. Look at our electricity. Look at our water. Our children still drinking dirty water and they're getting sick by the minute. How can you say this is okay? This is not okay. This is not okay. It is not about me. It shouldn't be about one individual. It should be the collective effort of everybody to speak to the government and say, you are wrong. You brought us to the wrong path. We have given you the time and you have let the people of Liberia down. Enough is enough. Today is the 22nd of May, folks. October 10th is around the corner. Be not deceived because they gave you the back arrest. Be not deceived because they gave you $10. Amen. Our people are suffering. What more should we say? How you want us to say it? You get vexed because CPP talk about UP, UP talk about CPP, they talk about Taiwan Gonglo Party. Come on now. Take your feelings out of this. If an opposition wins, Liberia wins. Trust me. Take your feelings out of this. You want George Weah to be president again? If you fight UP, you are fighting the George Manuel Weah battle. If you fight CPP, you are fighting the George Manuel Weah battle. He will sit to Jamaica Resort and enjoy himself because you see, you guys are fighting. Understand. These guys asking for 6 more years. They are asking you for 6 more years. Hey, Remy Gray, Dr. Richardson, they are asking you for 6 more years. Don't give it to them. Think Liberia deserves better. Till we meet again tomorrow. Till we meet again, may God be with you. May God keep you. May God bless our beloved country. That one day we'll say, sweet home, sweet home. God bless Liberia and God bless you. Have a good night, James. And have a good night, folks.
And your boy Friday the